hop aboard the hype rocket to Planet Awesome Sauce.
I may not be the world's greatest lover, but 17th place isn't half bad.
It's Madamus of the Back Library, former Cosmic Defender turned archive curator, streaming throughout every week. Retro and modern game stream, watch him fail, yapping stream. He'll call you pretty. Cozy reading stream, because he loves you. Karaoke stream, prepare your ear holes. Bonus gorilla stream, watch them for Harambe. If you don't watch live, Chibi Madamus will cry. Is that not enough? If you don't watch live, this kitten could explode.
Don't blame me, I did not authorize any of this.
New schedule posted weekly on X and YouTube. Go read it. All streams scheduled in Eastern Time. God's favorite time zone. Always streaming horizontal, never vertical. Just the way you like it. Follow, subscribe, like, watch, do the things, have the fun.
I don't know what that last part even means.
Madamus of the Back Library. Why watch Madamus of the Back Library for free when you can pay for it?
Your money is now my money, and I will spend it on hookers.
It's Madamus of the Back Library. He started as just another indie VTuber, but now Madamus is another indie VTuber with YouTube partnership. Channel memberships now available at one incredibly low price.
Less than all your favorite prescription drugs.
Now including brand new content. Movie and game gift set unboxing stream, destroying value in real time. The Chatamus versus the Madamus board game stream. You better not cheat. Extreme Back Library archive exploration. Why does he even own this crap? Movie and TV watch-along stream. Definitely not infringing copyright. Definitely. And Madamus will moan the name of anyone who becomes a member live.
Wait, what?
Plus, all the content you've come to love.
Back that up. What's this about moaning?
Retro and modern game streams.
When did I ever agree to moan every member's name?
Yapping streams.
Quit changing the subject.
Karaoke streams.
Okay, fine, as long as I'm getting paid.
Madamus of the Back Library. Become a member today.
Greetings, brohams, what the dealio. Welcome to the Back Library. I am Madamus, former Cosmic Defender turned archive curator. Hail to the chat. Welcome in, Daylin. Welcome in, Judd. Welcome in, Flash Viewer. Welcome in, Omegs. Anyone else who, welcome in, Alex also said, Alex G. Raff said you're lurking. Thank you for lurking. Anyone else who's currently watching, welcome in. If you are lurking, thank you for lurking. If you are VOD watching, thank you for watching the VOD. Please consider a comment on the VOD. It does help with the algorithm. Like, subscribe, follow on Twitter, notification bell, do the things, have the fun, win the game. Woo! Ah, boy, we got a lot. Okay, so first things first, we're going to be opening some boxes tonight. We're going to be doing the HANDCAM. Yay, HANDCAM. We're using the old HANDCAM still. I'll come back to that. A lot of stuff I want to cover out of the gate. This has been, there's been a lot of stuff going on. I feel like today there's been a lot of stuff going on, not just for me, but around the different areas of the VTuber verse. First and foremost, our friend Lulabelle, who we have raided into a number of times. It is her birthday today. She does have a birthday stream going on right now. You know, feel free to, as much as I want eyes on me, can I speak? As much as I want eye on, let's try that again, because apparently English is something I am failing at more and more. As much as I want eyes on me, feel free to show her some love. Lulabelle with her birthday. There's the link to her stream. We like Lulabelle. I saw 59 and I thought it was a birthday. Well, I mean, it is. It's Star Trek's birthday, but it's technically a day after. That's why we did Armada last night. We are doing Star Trek streams for the next few days. Anyone who's watching, we are doing Star Trek streams for the next few days. Celebrate the 59th anniversary. Already did Armada, which was 2 hours of tutorials and 1 hour of game. Tonight, boxes, opening some game and video gift set, box sets, things, whatever, just yapping. Good schedule. Thank you, Flash. Tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, we're going to be playing Star Trek 25th Anniversary on the NES for Wednesday. And then at 10 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, we're going to hit the Game Boy Star Trek 25th Anniversary, completely different game. Thursday, Escape from Monkey Island. Maybe we'll finish it up. I hope we'll finish it up. And on Friday, King's Quest. We're going to do the original version of King's Quest. So I wanted to talk to you all about something. And I made a post. Oh my gosh, ear trumpet, thank you. Yes, it worked, oh thank God. Thank you so much. My ear trumpet has been struck by lightning for the gifted membership. I got something to mention about that too. Waiting for it to hit. Waiting for it to hit.
I want you to join our little family.
And you got a big snipe. You sniped Audica. You sniped Audica. Nice, nice, nice. Audica, sevens. Ooh, woo. I hope it's sevens and not sevens. But we love Audica. We love, have we rated her once or twice? I don't remember how much. Yeah, definitely nice. Welcome in, Luciano. Welcome in. Before I get into anything else, I want to talk about Specialite. Clip that. Which part? Which part? The moan? I'm just happy it worked. Oh, okay. Too many things going on. I'll go ahead and mention that first. So, Rhea Sumire was talking about her broken memberships earlier tonight. Actually, just like 30 minutes ago, because I was in her stream. And she was telling me now that one way to do it is report it as a monetary issue, and then YouTube will pay attention when it breaks. I'll try that again when it happens. If it happens, I hope it never happens. The moan, gotcha. Well, just in case I didn't do it well enough, let me go ahead and make sure I get the eyes too. Audica sevens. Ooh, woo. There, 2 for 1. What is wrong with me? She was suggesting you get in touch with YouTube and report it as a monetary issue. I plan to do that next time, but something tells me, chat, that I did it that way before. Something in my gut tells me, and I kind of hope I'm wrong. Good day, welcome in, Ear Trumpet, and thank you again for the, man, it's probably early morning for you right now. Good day, welcome in, and thank you again for the gifted membership. Super appreciated. Really, and truly, and really, and truly, really. I don't know what's wrong with me tonight. It's been a long day. And it shouldn't be 12:14 p.m. Oh, okay. Well, that's not, I mean, it's late then, not early. Okay, gotcha. It's early when I'm doing the NES stream. It's late when I'm doing anything else. Boom. Nailed it. All right. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, the monetary thing. She had suggested tonight to report it as a monetary issue when it happens. I think I did that before. I really do think I did that before. But regardless, yeah, I just hope it'll stop happening. I just want it to stop happening. I just want my channel to work. Let's talk about Specialite. So I mentioned this in the chat as we started. AI bots don't care. And neither do the people, Ear Trumpet. Because I was talking, it was about I'd say it was about a 75-25 split. And I did talk to some people, but they might as well be AI bots. They might as well be. Because they just regurgitate the same lines. And maybe Ray is right. when she says, you know, if you report it as a monetary issue, that doesn't happen. But like I said, I swear I did that. But yeah, I say I'll try it again, but I'm hoping the case never arises where I have to. I think that's the best way to look at it. I want to talk about Specialite though, chat. Probably people in call say absolutely 100%. In fact, man, I'm never gonna get to Specialite. It reminds me because Rhea and I did a Discord call talking about it, and she talked about her situation where she was able to reach people. At her time, when it happened to her, she was able to somehow get a number, which has been since deactivated. But when she got it, she was apparently told, even though they say they're 24/7, they're not, and these are the hours they're not because they're in India, or something along those lines. Something along those lines. Yeah. Deactivated, or she couldn't find it. It was one. I think it was a little bit of both. She couldn't find it, and then the phone number we found, which she thought was it, was deactivated. Because it would have made some great content. She was going to call up and pretend to be my manager. That was awesome. Unfortunately, we didn't get a chance to do that. But Specialite chat. I got to talk about Specialite real quick. I want to talk about Specialite. Talks about something else. Repeats. No. I really do need to. Some of you saw my post on Twitter. Some of you saw the post, I'm sure, on YouTube. Specialite EN is closing its doors. I want to say they're closing October 6th. Specialite EN, which is the English branch of Specialite. Now, they're not closing everything. Their JP branch is staying open, and apparently they have worked or are working with their current talent for them to acquire their IPs. So everyone who's there, as far as I know, everyone who's there is still going to be streaming. Everyone who's there, they're not going anywhere, but they will be going indie, at least unless they get picked up elsewhere. I'm not familiar with them. They're a small branch. Their EN branch, right now it's only 7. It would have been 8. Something happened with one of them. I don't know, and I was just about to bring her up the other day. I'll come back to that, Mickey Hitsugi. But as of right now, it's 7 members, 3 in Gen 1, 4 in their second EVE group. So it's a small group, but apparently Specialite, probably Japan, determined that the EN branch wasn't profitable enough fast enough. So they pulled the plug. Yeah. And I'm going to mention something about that in a moment, about Miki. But what was I saying? Specialite EN is probably the reason I'm here right now talking to all of you. I knew nothing about VTubers. I had not watched any VTubers at all. And I was kind of in a bad, lonely place in my life. I mean, I wasn't like super depressed, but I was just kind of, it was a melancholy place. And I saw ads for Specialite in Christmas of 2023. Their EN branch ran some Christmas ads, Christmas of 2023, for whatever Christmas events were going to be with each of their talents. And they ran separate ads for each of them. For Victoria Valerie, Miyu Akamiya, who, you know Miyu, we've raided into her several times. If you're familiar with this channel, you know Miyu. I found you at Miyu's. Yeah, Miyu, God bless her, she has given me a shout out even before. Which means the world. And she's appeared in this stream before. She showed up here one time. I was playing Kid Nicky, just to stop by and say hi, which was, I mean, that was one of those moments that I felt like, you know, maybe I'm not as much of a long shot as I feel, if that makes any sense. I hope it makes sense. I felt that way a lot. I felt that way when Sarah Casera followed me back on, it's all the little things, when she followed me back on Twitter, when Rhea Sumire followed me back and also raided into me. Rhea Sumire with Lucid, it was the first person to ever raid me. But Specialite has a very special place in my heart because if I wouldn't have seen those ads, I don't know if I ever would have started watching VTubers. Maybe I would have eventually. I'd like to think I would have stumbled upon them eventually, but it would probably be a much different situation than it is now. So, yeah, who knows? Who knows what it would be like? Yeah, I might not even be streaming yet. Yeah. So to Special Ite Ian, I just want to say thank you. And to all of the members of Special Ite Ian who are going to be going indie, I know, I'm not even going to say I wish you all the best, because I know you all are going to do great things. Love you all, even those of you who I didn't get to watch much of in Gen 2, but especially Gen 1, who I have watched over the years, Victoria Valerie, Miyu Akamiya, Uta Mochihizu. I always feel like I'm butchering that last name. Love you all. And she plays classic games. She's one of us. Yeah, and she wants to play more classic games, or she always did, but permissions were always so difficult with Special Ite. They never could get the permissions for stuff that they wanted to play, unfortunately. So that's one good thing. That's a silver lining. As for the deal with Miki Hitsugi, the truth is I don't know anything about that. All I know about the Miki thing is that she graduated some months ago from Special Ite. I don't know what that situation was. I do know she izakai'd as another VTuber named Nanaru, and she streamed as a dog girl Nanaru, and she streamed as her probably only like 2 times, and since then it's been radio silence. She's still got a YouTube channel, but and a Twitter account, but she has posted nothing. So I don't know if there was something because of the way she left Special Ite or any of that. I'm not going to get into any drama with that because I don't know anything. I'm not going to speculate. And I hope that I was just thinking about her the other day and thinking, you know, I wonder if she realizes that there are people who do miss her, and I hope she does realize that. So for her sake, I hope this Special Ite thing that's happening maybe ends in such a way that she can make some sort of a reappearance as well in either form. So because Miki was a sweetheart too, at least I think she was. I say that you never know about anyone. I mean, it's a parasocial world out there, chat. Nobody, you never know what anyone's going to do until they do it. But for the members of Special Ite Ian right now who are going to be going indie, I love you all. God bless you all. And yeah, keep doing great things. And we're still gonna raid into Miyu's channel, or Miyu. Yeah, Miyu's channel. I almost got confused with Miki. Oh my gosh. We're still gonna raid into Miyu's channel. We're still gonna raid into her. We're still gonna raid into Miyu's channel at some point, and probably not tonight. Little did we know they were harvesting and selling organs on the black market. I mean, you never know. You've had some of these streamers that everyone loved, you know, online, and then everything, gosh, who I can't think of some of the names, but there are you know, some of the ones that then the Google Docky drops, oh no, and that sort of thing. So yeah, what else am I going to mention tonight? Okay, before we get into the unboxing, tomorrow's stream, I will likely be playing it. Instead of using my original hardware, I am going to try using the Retro USB AVS, which is a FPGA-based NES clone that's supposed to be practically 100% accurate. I was concerned about it because it's HDMI out. I had gotten a device to split HDMI audio into analog so that I could use it. And then lo and behold, my problem with my HDMI capture seems to be fixed. My audio on my gaming PC through the HDMI capture is no longer out of sync. It's 100% in sync, and I can't explain it. I cannot explain it. Now, it could go away, or it could be fixed. Maybe it was an OBS update, and who knows, but it seems to be fixed. So that's good for me because that helps me eliminate a number of cables. Behind closed doors, who knows? But they're good seed from what I could tell, at least publicly. Yeah. And I do wish I knew more about that other situation with the one. And hopefully someday I will know at least just, I mean, it's not something I could ever talk about, but I hope for my own edification I do. So yeah, the audio, and we might even test it a little bit tonight at some point. So that's one good thing, even though now the HDMI audio splitter I ordered from Amazon, I think I'm going to send it back to Amazon. Got to get some money back. I got to get some money back. I've spent too much because I've spent a lot on another thing. I'm working on registering myself as either an LLC or a sole proprietorship. So which is costing a little bit, but that's no big deal. It's most of it's just a one-time fee. I don't have to like, I want money. No, I'm not. I try to avoid being that type. I've taken the first steps as far as doing the legal announcements you're supposed to make for setting up a fabricated, a false, a non-existent business name type thing. LLC, Limited Liability Corporation, which is the more expensive way to go. So I might do sole proprietorship, even though you get better anonymity with an LLC. But that's going to let me start running ad runs again on YouTube, which I would like to do because I have mentioned my membership numbers have kind of been, you know, going wonky lately. Ever since my last ad run drip ended, they've been sort of dripping down, the membership numbers. I want to say I was like, last week I was at 5960 and now I'm at 5947. So it is a slow drip. And it does mean that I probably did get a lot of bots, which are being culled. But, I mean, that happens. I'm gonna continue playing the game though of doing an occasional ad run because I think that's smart. I don't actually want anyone's money, just in general. I mean, I want money. I just mean you know what I mean. Oh God. What else? Yeah. So the only thing that's going to be a recurring fee, but it's not a big deal with that, is setting up a business mailbox for a false address. Well, for not a false address, but for an address that will just serve as my business, the equivalent of a P.O. box. So I've got all that stuff ready to go now. Good evening, all. Hope everyone had a good day. Welcome in, Flood City. Welcome in. Yeah, we're doing well. We are just going over a couple stuff, talking about some of the various things going on, the Specialite thing, and now I'm just yapping about setting up an LLC. Jennifer, welcome in. A street address. Yeah. So the way it works is if I don't have a business address that isn't my current address, someone, if there was ever someone super parasocial, they could research and, you know, show up on my doorstep potentially. And, you know, yeah, no, I mean, as much as I'd love Rhea to show up with, you know, a butcher knife in one hand and a jar of Vicks Vapor Rub in the other, it probably is a bad idea. So, that was weird, wasn't it? But yeah, setting up the LLC or the sole proprietorship, got the address taken care of. Company I work for just became an ESOP. I don't know what ESOP means. Let me look that up. ESOP meaning employee stock ownership plan. Oh, I definitely won't have that. We aren't going to have, you know, invest in back library coin, not the vapor rub. Yeah, that was the most. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Don't know why I said it. We'll go with it. That'll work. Matt's gonna have them out for the get. No, not the get. But yeah, the address is set up, and the good thing about the address is it It'll function the same as a P.O. box. So if I ever get to a point where, you know, I know some VTubers have like an open P.O. box where people can send them stuff. Eventually, I will probably publish the address as a mailing address for the back library as a business. Street addresses are useful for having parcels delivered that can't ship to P.O. boxes, but you don't want it delivered to your residence or business. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So it's one of these mailbox services. It's one of these mailbox services. I've done that. I've done the thing that I need to do with the newspaper. All it's going to be is I have to wait until things get published in the newspaper. So early next week, I will be filing the government paperwork, and then that'll be paying that final fee, and that everything should be settled. So yeah, that's good. I'm excited about that. I am happy about that. Anything else that I'm excited about or not? Oh, the HANDCAM. I do want to, so I told y'all I will be, I nearly had one several times while homeless. Oof, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that, Daylin. I'm glad you got it. I'm glad you were able to get out of that situation. Oh, the HANDCAM. So we're using the document cam tonight. I had bought a new camera for a new webcam to use as a second one. I had one cheap webcam, which I returned. I picked up another webcam to try to use as, I thought, a better HANDCAM by Elgato. It was not better. It was not better. There's a lot of people swear by Elgato as a name for like video capture and cameras and things like that. I've never had the best luck with Elgato over the years, and this was no exception. I don't know what it was, but it was just really, I didn't like the connectivity of it. And it just, I don't know, the setup, it just wasn't good. It's good, Judd. It was years ago, no sweat. The setup of it just wasn't good, so we're going to stick with the document camera for HANDCAM stuff for now. Maybe eventually we'll figure something else out. Oh, excuse me. Maybe eventually I can dismantle the document camera, get the camera part off somehow, and put it on a better boom arm. Because the current arm is a little short, or maybe I can find a way to boost the current arm up. Yeah. I think that's that. Anything else to mention? Wow, 30 minutes into stream. Okay, I guess we should go ahead and head into the game room. Actually, before we do anything heading into the game room, I do want to head into the gaming PC real quick. We're going to head into the gaming PC, and I'm going to play something back, and we're going to make sure it's still in, that the audio is still in sync. Okay, where'd that go? Normal. Cut. There we go. There it is. There it is back. What do we got here? Okay. I'm getting confused because I got extra things showing up now with all of my my volume settings here because of hooking up the getting the HDMI, if I can speak, the HDMI capture working. So what we're going to do real quick, chat, I'm going to run a trailer. It's Star Trek's 59th anniversary. Let's run a trailer. Let's run a Star Trek trailer. Patience and persistence pays off. Usually. And I'm glad it did for you. Let's Trek motion picture. We're going to run the same trailer we've done before. Director's Edition trailer. Just because so this movie is not 59 years old. Star Trek the Motion Picture came out in 79, so it is, this Christmas it will be, this Christmas it will be, oh man, my math is not good. Okay, 59, 25, 79 from 25. This Christmas it'll be 36 years old, 46 years old. 46 years old. It came after the original series had already ended. 46. Okay. Repeat. Let's just run the trailer. Let's open it up. Let's open up the trailer. Hope I don't get bonked for it. No, stop. Let me mute this. Let me unmute this. And let's see. Let's see if it's in sync, chat. Let's see if it's in sync. If it's not, I'm gonna, you know, try not to swear. But seriously, if you've never seen Star Trek, the best place to start is, in my opinion, with the original 6 movies. Or with the first 2. Because if you don't like the first 2, give them both a shot, then Star Trek ain't for you. Curious watch history off. No, I'll explain that in a moment.
Thrusters ahead, Mr. Sulu. Take us out.
Yeah, it's in sync. It is in sync. So I do...
Every minute brings that object closer to Earth. I need you.
I am convinced we are
I love this movie.
a living machine.
I really love this movie. And I love this director's edition. We will do a watch-along someday, even though I won't be able to show it on stream.
Shall I go to battle
We'll
station,
find a
sir?
free source. Legal,
Insatiable
of course.
curiosity.
Spock, you haven't changed a bit. You're just as warm and sociable as ever.
I hope we got this one off to a good start. I hope so, too.
Okay, well, that's streaming, but we're not going to stream. All right, let's back this. Let me see. What do we got? Okay, I'll answer the question moment. Times before YouTube were more fun. Yeah, always on demand takes some of the magic away from things. I remember seeing the Star Trek 6 teaser trailer for the first... Oh! The teaser trailer for Star Trek 6, I should run that. I know which one you're talking about. That is an amazing teaser, Flood City. That is an amazing... In fact, I thought about running that instead of this. I think we'll run it too. Okay, so to answer on why I don't have my watch history on, because this is not my account. This is LibraryBot's account. And I don't want LibraryBot building up any sort of an algorithm or anything. So it's pretty much cut off from doing everything but moderating my own channel. That song. Oh, the soundtrack to the motion picture is incredible. Okay, Star Trek 6 teaser. Yeah, we'll run that. We'll run that, and then we'll go open stuff. Is there an official copy of it? They don't even have an official copy of it. Wow. There are bootlegs of it, but I guess we'll just use a bootleg then. All right. I don't want to run a Target ad. If I get bonked for a Target ad, I'm gonna flip. Okay. All right. We're right. It's also the TNG theme. Yes. Yeah. Later on, yeah, they recycled it. But yeah, I love this teaser. This is one of the... All right. George Takei, the GOAT. You know, the thing about George Takei for me is all the weirdness that happened with him and Shatner. Because, you know, I always thought it was Rip Gene. Yeah. Oh, the Gene Sisko. I see that. Yeah. That's, I don't know why that's on there. First movie after was Generations, right? Unfortunately, Daylin. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not too happy with Generations. Why do I have that open? Let me go ahead and switch over to the well, actually, let me cut back to the library momentarily, and then we'll switch to the HANDCAM. The George Takei thing with Shatner, I always thought it's so... Once you break it 2 days before my birthday, oh wow, okay, nice. The 13th of December. Okay, so the 15th. Nice. Because for those of you who don't know about the breakdown between Takei and Shatner, it all is because of Star Trek 6. I thought it was because Shatner had mistreated. I thought it was between I thought it was because Shatner mistreated Takei, and then you hear what it actually was, and it was that Takei ran up to Shatner and was all excited about Star Trek VI because of the type of character he was going to be playing without spoiling it for anyone. And then, but Shatner saw it and he looked and he said, "Wow, George, you don't have many lines in this movie. Do you want me to talk to the director and we can put you back on have you back in sort of the type of role you were in the other films, and we could get you more dialogue and get you more screen time?" And George Takei's reaction was, but I'm getting my own ship bill. And he apparently freaked out because he thought Shatner was going to take away his fake command. I don't understand that. My only guess, and the only guess I can come up with, Flash, is that Takei thought that Shatner was trying to prevent him from getting a spin-off. But that doesn't seem to gel. It seems to be that Shatner was genuinely trying to help. He was genuinely just trying to, hey, I can help you get some more screen time. I mean, you've been with us all these years, and yeah, so I don't understand that breakdown. I don't understand. I'm not going to touch that one. Let's head to the HANDCAM. Let's head to the HANDCAM. Let's open some things, chat. And we're going to start with this one. We are going to start with this. Let me get my gloves on. So for those of you just joining us, we're doing a HANDCAM. We're just opening up some home video and one game that I've got box set. Taking a look at the contents, the artwork, etc. Then we'll just do a normal chat. It's not going to be, this isn't going to be a big stream. Have you looked at the Roddenberry Archive website? You know, Flood City, I looked at a few things from it. I haven't been to the website itself. I've looked, or it was, he was jealous of William Shatner. Think about it. No, it is. No, Judd, actually, you are right. There was a lot of, if you've read the accounts, there was a lot of different jealousy on the sets. And there was a lot of blaming Shatner for like stepping on people's lines. But it doesn't seem that Shatner was ever trying to do it purposely. It seems like Shatner was just, hey, we can, like at times with the series, hey, do we have to have him say this? We can shorten it up to this. It seemed to me like he was just trying to sort of take on a pseudo producer director role and not, you know, there wasn't malice. Shatner's been chill as far as I know. Yeah, it seems like people really thought there was malice there that there wasn't. And it's unfortunate because I can tell you one of the sad things for me, well, two really sad things for me, in my opinion, is number one, James Doohan, who played Scotty. As far as I know, Shatner wanted to meet with him, and when he was doing a book, Star Trek Memories, and James Doohan would never even meet with him before Shatner died. I mean, before Doohan died. Doohan was, I guess, bitter over the years about something and wouldn't even meet with him. And then you've got the unfortunate Leonard Nimoy thing, which was more recent. Leonard Nimoy and Shatner became really, really super close friends. But then Shatner was doing a documentary called The Captains, and he wanted to put Nimoy in it. And Nimoy, for whatever reason, did not want to do an interview. And so Shatner, I guess, sent his team to just record some stuff with Nimoy at one of the conventions, and Nimoy got really upset about it and didn't speak to Shatner even when he was on his deathbed. He basically like sent a letter or something to the effect of, you know, I love you, but I just don't think we can have anything to do with each other anymore. So it's really sad that they ended not speaking like that, because you can tell that Shatner really considered him a true friend, and Shatner didn't mean anything by it. I mean, he didn't mean, it doesn't seem it was like a trying to use people thing. It was just one of those things. Do you remember Rescue 911? Yes, there was even a pinball machine. Yes, I do. Forgot about Rescue 911. Yeah, I'll let bitterness stew him. Yeah, and I think part of that has to do, chat, with the setup of the original series compared to the Next Generation. And this is why I think the original series works better for the movies, especially with movies, especially in screen voyages. This is going to be for the original 6 movies, as far as I know, especially with the original 6 movies versus a series. And that is that the original series of Star Trek had a Trinity dynamic. And what I mean, my camera's doing a weird thing. Hold on. Properties. Is it configure video? Oh, it's doing the auto white balancing. I don't want that. All right, there we go. Okay. There we go. That's better. A little better. So the original series of Star Trek, for those of you who haven't watched it, for the most part, it is a Trinity setup. And producer Harv Bennett, who produced 4 of the 6 movies, he was the first one I ever heard point this out. The whole series, the show essentially is about Kirk, Spock, McCoy. Next time on Rescue 911. And so you had Kirk at the top, and then you had Spock and McCoy, who both represent different parts of Kirk's own personality. You've got the logic of Spock, you've got the humanity of McCoy, and you've got Kirk in this position as the commander, having to resolve those two into his own action. The 2 people who he consider his best friends. I bet they took that personally. Yeah, and that's the thing. But it makes sense. But that's the thing. You look at the original series, and that's the way the series is. Almost every episode, it is Kirk, Spock, McCoy, and then you've got the extended family. You've got everyone else in the background. They each have their part to play. They have their moments, but there aren't episodes that are really solely about them. It's always about Kirk, Spock, McCoy, and maybe they'll be lucky and have a larger part in this one. I read an interview, and Shatner said Nimoy's family told him that Leonard sort of changed a few months before he passed. Maybe his illness was affecting him. Yeah, I think I read that too, Flood City. I want to say I read like the comments by Nimoy's son. And that's the thing too, because I know Nimoy had in fact, God bless all of them, you know, resolving their careers with their kids, because I know Shatner's had issues with his kids and has mended a lot of fences over the years, and Nimoy also with his son. I know there was a rift between them, and they were able to mend that. And I'm it's things like that that give me hope. And even with Takei, who I'm just gonna be honest with y'all, I think he's crazy. But I hope someday, before it's too late, I hope he's able to mend fences, because I do know Shatner and Walter Koenig mended fences. Shatner had Walter Koenig, who played Chekhov, on one of his interview shows, and they sort of really hashed things out, and that's good. I don't know, and I want to say Shatner and Nichelle Nichols too. They had hashed things out over the years too, because if you even look back, I mentioned the book. Let me turn this light off, see if that looks better. No, well, maybe a little. I know Nichelle Nichols, it was from her where it started. Book I read years ago, Star Trek Memories. He got to the end of her interview, and she suddenly apparently said, well, now wait a second. You haven't asked me why we hate you. And Shatner sat back down and turned his tape recorder back on. And so I feel like that maybe was the start of the healing process there. Yeah, but I don't, as far as I know, I don't think he ever patched things up with James Doohan, and that's unfortunate. I hope he did, but I haven't seen anything about that. Boy, we're going into some dark parts about this. But yeah, that's the thing with Star Trek. The original series is a much different dynamic than the other franchises. The other franchises, it's always the captain character at the top, be it Picard, Sisko, Janeway, Scott Bakula, I can't remember the name, Archer, all the deep dark stuff. Yeah, we're doing the deep dive. Don't even have anything on the screen. They're always set up with the captain at the top plus X crew member of the week. So you have, you'll have an episode that's just about Riker, or just about Geordi, or just about Data, or just about Worf, or maybe about a couple of them, and Picard will take it. They always have episodes that are just about certain characters. The problem with that was when they brought The Next Generation to the big screen, you can't replicate that dynamic. This dynamic, the original series was made for those 6 movies. His first kiss was on Star. It was the first interracial kiss, Judd. It was Plato's Stepchildren, and it's credited as being the first interracial on-camera kiss. Even though apparently, according to Shatner, they didn't kiss. They tilted the camera because they still were afraid of like receiving letters, so they wanted it to at least have some sort of. I think the network wanted them still to not touch lips, whatever. But it was the first essentially on-screen interracial kiss thing. Yeah. Don't know much of IRL Takei. Say his voice work in Yakuza Like a Dragon. Yeah. Oh, no. George Takei has done... You know, it's sort of like Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill, IRL, is kind of a jerk from everything I've seen. But when it comes to being a voice actor, impeccable. Impeccable. Michael Dorn, too. Michael Dorn, God, he's got that voice. Michael Dorn's great with his voice work. And his work in Command and Conquer's Pete Goofy. I don't think I've seen his work in Command and Conquer. Huh. Interesting, interesting. Okay, let's open something. Now, this one you're going to notice is not sealed. But the barcode is right here. As far as I can tell, none of these were sealed. For whatever reason, if you look for brand new copies of this, every look up the scenes, won't regret it. I'll do that at some point. Thank you. Mark and Michael really do great VA work. They do. Mark, yeah, and Takei does too. Absolutely. And Nimoy did. The best Joker, yeah. A lot of people say that. It's hard for me to argue with that one, Judd. I mean, the only argument I have is, well, it's animated. But if you take the animation stigma out of it, yeah, as much as I want to say Jack... I want to sort of call it a tie with Jack Nicholson, but yeah. Classic one is, are you made of stupid? Really? You mean Galvatron? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Transformers, the movie, your voices in that, it's so interesting because they were just casting people and they didn't even check if they wanted to do voice work. When they cast Robert Stack as Ultra Magnus, he had never done voice work before, so apparently he was nervous as hell. He did a good job, though. And Orson Welles, when they cast him as Unicron, Orson Welles, he was so unhealthy at the time, he couldn't even speak. So they had to run his voice through all sorts of the things to make it sound big and robotic and huge. But the truth was, Orson Welles at that point probably sounded like, he was not in the best of health. I shouldn't have done that. That hurt my throat. Ah! Darn it. Why'd I do that? Original Batman was good. Yeah. Caesar, oh god, Caesar Romero, he was good. Yeah. Oh, so like I was saying, you're gonna notice no shrink wrap on this. As far as a best Star Trek collectible I have is a DS9 final season promotion pack. Oh, my dad got work at a TV station. Press release, promo photos, cast by. That is awesome, Flood City. That is awesome. Kevin Conroy or Adam West? Oh, you know I love Kevin Conroy, but you know I've got to do Adam West. You know I've got to say Adam West. I think Conroy was peak Batman, but Adam West was, I mean, he understood it was for his show, he understood he was playing a comedy. I remember seeing somewhere that Adam West had made a comment along the lines of, but that's what makes it so funny. He takes himself seriously. Everyone else, it's just, this is crazy. But he takes himself seriously. That's the joke. So, and when you think about it, it takes a special actor to recognize that. To not go about, the mythos of the character and go into all that crap, just to recognize off the bat of, oh, well, that's what makes it funny. The funny thing is he's the joke. Kevin Conroy, serious roles. Adam West, non-serious. Absolutely, yeah. Yeah. Okay, but like I was saying about the thing we're doing. True, like reverse Willem Dafoe. Yeah. Yeah, that'll work. Never leave home without your... Robin, hand me down the shark repellent bat spray. We were talking Star Trek, weren't we? Okay, like I was saying, you're gonna notice it's not sealed. As far as I could tell, none of these are sealed. When I was searching for them on eBay, the only ones I could find, I think I found one that was a rewrap. Every single one I was finding on eBay, I know were incomplete. They were all as brand new, but when you opened it up, they were missing something that is supposed to be inside of this. Now, I have not messed with the contents. The most I did, I peeked under the lid slightly before just in case I had to send it back to make sure the one thing that is supposed to be in it is in it. I don't know if the tapes are accurate. I don't know if the tapes are the right editions. We're going to find out. But Family Guy, Mayor West was kind of sort of still Batman. I've never seen it. I haven't watched enough Family Guy. I've hardly seen any. I hate to say that. So what this is supposed to be, chat, is this is supposed to be a set of the original 6 Star Trek movies. So last time we did an unboxing, I opened that Star Trek 25th anniversary gift set, which only had the first 5, and it had all those pins that had discolored with age. This is supposed to be the first 6. They should all be sealed. They are supposed to be the letterbox editions, the widescreen editions. I don't know. That I can't really verify. And it is supposed to include a pin. One pin. Not like the others, but it's supposed to include like an insignia pin. So, and you'll also notice it's at this weird angle. For whatever reason, I got another set like this. Paramount decided to start putting the Star Trek movies in these weird angle sets and have them all offset, which, I mean, if you put this thing on a shelf, that's gonna, that kind of sucks. Fun fact, Adam West was in Kim Possible. Was he? Was he? Okay. Literally, Adam West for VA made many references, indirect and direct, to previous Batman works. Yeah, that, well, I think he did that and other things too, as Fearless Ferret. Oh, okay. All right, let's open it. Oh, yes, it's got the pin. Okay. So it was supposed to include the movie insignia. Adam West was in Batman the Animated Series as the Gray Ghost 2. I think that was mentioned before. You might have mentioned that before. Yeah, I don't remember. Yeah, this one looks okay. I do see some spots. It does look, it's got some mold or something underneath there. There's it, because that's on the plastic, and it's underneath the plastic. So I don't know if it got VHS tapes, indeed. So I don't know if it got water exposed or what, but this one's still sealed. This thing is still cherry. Oh wow. Here's your original price tag on this. I did not pay that. I'd just like to for the record, I did not pay $125. But apparently that was the price on this at the time. And it says letterbox, not the mold. Yeah. Does it give a date? Oh, okay. So if that's correct, this price tag's from 2001. So this is even a later copy that must have been sitting around, because by 2001 they'd already released a bunch of the Next Generation tapes. But let's see if these are Captain Madamus. Oh dear. Let's see if they're actually the widescreen editions. If I can get them out. If I can. Yeah, I hate that they're in here like this. This is miserable. Okay. Let me try to. All right. If I could get one out, he says, and then it gets stuck again. Oh yeah, it's. And they are all still sealed. Yeah, it's the widescreen. Good. Okay, so the thing about the widescreen version of Star Trek the Motion Picture on VHS, that is the shorter version. The full screen version was the special longer version, the TV cut. I love that poster art. I've said it before, I'll say it 1,000 times. That poster art, it's literally Peak. It's by a guy named Bob Peak. Bob Peak, I think all the artwork on these are Bob Peak art. That's one of my favorite posters of all time. Widescreen, wide get, no, not the get. But yeah, this is the Peak made by Peak, indeed. Let me double check the time. Oh, okay. That's weird. It's a little bit crushed. I guess being in there or something over the years. The corner's a little crushed. Huh. It almost looked like the tape was warped. Yeah, it almost looks like the tape is a little warped. Huh. Well, I'm not opening it, but I hope it plays. I'm not going to open the individual tapes. Oh, yeah, and it's got some funk also, like maybe from mold or water exposure on it. But that's outside the plastic, so that I could probably wipe off at some point. Good. Yeah, and it is original seal, I could tell. There's the Paramount stuff. Warped, yeah, it's, I don't know, from sitting or something, the plastic seems like it's gotten crooked. Oops, I keep bumping the mic. I'm sorry, chat. Got the 25th anniversary logo down at the bottom, too. Yeah, in fact, what year is on the tape? 1991 is on the tape. So this is a 1991 VHS. Wow. So it's 2025 now. Assuming it's not just a reprint, 1991, that tape is 33 years old. Look at the value destroyed live. Yeah. Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. I bought a print on Amazon of the TMP poster with signatures of the cast. Oh, nice. You know, I've got an old print somewhere framed, a small one. No signatures or anything, but yeah. Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. Widescreen. Theatrical cut. This is the one I prefer, the theatrical cut. The motion picture is the one I prefer the director's cut on. What's the date on it? 91 also on the tape. Okay. Star Trek 3, the spoilers in the title, The Search for Spock. Widescreen edition. That is great art. I don't think that poster art was used was used in theaters. I want to say the theaters went with this more generic thing that looked like a that cover art, yeah. I want to say the theaters went with this more generic. The front of 2, yeah, and they didn't use that poster much either. In the theaters, they mostly used the artwork. They used this collage artwork thing, just a bunch of scenes from the movie, which I don't, whatever. I want to say the poster in theaters for this that I've seen was a more generic, like showing a constellation that formed Spock's face. It didn't have all the color or anything to it. I like that. I like that artwork a lot, though. Please line up the other side. It makes an enterprise. Yeah, we'll take a look at the. In fact, I'm getting them sort of screwed up. It seems a bit for that. Yeah, we'll line them up. We will show the full lineup of the tapes. Star Trek IV, The Voyage Home. Now, this had 2 different theatrical posters, and if you buy the current 4K or Blu-ray discs, they have different artwork than that, even though that's a nice artwork. Widescreen edition again. Star Trek V, The Final Frontier, which I defend this movie a lot. I don't think it's a bad movie. It's just not as good as the rest in the series, and it's one that Paramount, they should do a director's cut. They won't let Shatner revisit it because Shatner did direct this one. And it would have been solved if they would have delayed the release for Star Trek V. I can do a deep dive someday. I know I've done it kind of before when we went through Blu-rays, but I'll do it again someday. Star Trek V, if they would have just given this thing, if they would have delayed its release in theaters, it would have been fine. Yeah, widescreen edition. That's a good poster, too. You know, it's amazing. I say Star Trek is a trinity, and yet the posters are almost always Kirk and Spock, except for number 6. And Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country, widescreen edition, special home video version. Okay, now that we'll have to mention. I love this artwork, too. I really love that artwork. Kirk, Spock, McCoy. As I've gotten older, I'm able to appreciate the movies more and see things I didn't see as a kid. Absolutely. I know you like them all, but in your opinion, what movie is the most weak movie? Of the original 6, it would be Star Trek 5. And now I think if they went back and revisited Star Trek 5, then it might be a toss-up between it and number 3. But as it stands, Star Trek 5. In my opinion. I think that's the usual opinion anyway. So the special home video version. So Star Trek 6, there are 3 different versions of this movie. There's the version that was shown in US theaters, which is currently on Blu-ray and 4K. There is the international theatrical cut, which is this version. That version added in about 3 minutes of extra footage. It is not currently available on Blu-ray and 4K. And then there is a director's edition / director's cut, a quiet director's cut of Star Trek 6, which is basically the same as this, except it extends one scene of Scotty looking through some plans of the Enterprise, and it adds this really stupid flashback sequence with a gong sound. My opinion is that the theatrical cut is the best version. I used to like this version best, but anymore I do like the slightly shorter theatrical version best. So for me, when it comes to watching the original 6, if you're going to watch them, in my opinion, chat, you go the director's. I've said it before, I'm saying it again. Pay attention. Write this down. Well, don't write it down. You don't need to write it down. Why did I say that? Why did I say that? I don't need to tell you to write it down. Director's cut of the motion picture. Theatrical cuts all the way on the others, unless they revisit number 5. Okay, let me do what was being suggested about lining these up on their side. So if you line these up on their side, you get this, where they all connect to form the Enterprise, which is nice. Now, the problem with that is number 6, because they put out all of these on home video before 6 was even, coming to theaters. So, as a result, when they came back to do 6, it was like, oh, oops, just make the star field longer. Most times the footage was cut for a reason. Let me back that up here. I know you. Okay, I already did that. Most times footage cut for a reason. Yeah. Is that movie, Kirk said, Let Them Die? Yes. Yeah, that's number 6. And one of the things that was cut was some swearing, some cussing. There was a scene where Scotty used quote unquote the B word against a Klingon woman. And from what I understand, James Doohan was really happy that had been cut, because he was asked about deleted material during a convention, and he said, oh, well, there was this one scene where Scotty swore, and I'm glad that they cut that out. And then, lo and behold, they stick it back in with the director's cut. All the art is beautiful so far. Yeah, and then these... Now, they also connect the other way, as they were in the box. If I flip the tapes around, I gotta do them one at a time. You get another thing, which is the way they started putting them in the boxes once 6 came out. Just a space motif, but still looks nice. And it's not even just a space motif, because if you notice, there's the saucer of the Enterprise. So actually, it was a really long picture that starts with the Enterprise over here and goes all the way to the space motif there and loops back. It was a never-ending picture. You can wallpaper a room with this. Not that I'm going to. I bet that thing killed her father. Indeed, yeah, it is seamless. It is. It's very, very nice. I wish they still did really cool. That's one thing I love about VHS art is I feel like starting with DVD, and especially once we got into Blu-ray and 4K, so much of doing nice looking packaging, individualized packaging has gone away. Everything anymore has been, for the most part, just putting everything in a single, like, slimline case. You know, which at first I thought was great. Oh wow, you buy a single case and it's got all five Dirty Harry movies in one, in the width of one thing. That's great for my shelf. But then I realized later on, it doesn't look as cool. It doesn't look as cool in the back library at all. Now, some of that is starting to change. The Back to the Future, there is a new a reissue box set of Back to the Future coming out in 4K and on Blu-ray, and it has all the movies in individual packages with their theatrical poster art. And I'm kind of happy I don't have the Back to the Future trilogy on 4K, because I might just pull the trigger on that, just because I really like that packaging. Okay, so that's the first box set of the night. Let me put this up here. That's a good place for it. And let me take a quick hydration break, chat. If you got a drink, take a drink. Hydrate or dihydrate. Oh, almost spilled it. I am doing a, actually my lid's crushed. And I can't turn it because it'll spill. Polar Blackberry Mango Seltzer. Yay! And I can't even get my mouth on it because it's bent up so much. That train engine doobie time traveling. Yeah, I'll be honest with Back to the Future. I don't know if they stuck the landing with the third one as much as I used to think. I think the third one is a great movie, but at times I do wonder if they... I think the original is the strongest. I used to think the second one was, but then I found out what the second one was supposed to be, and they weren't able to make it, and yeah. I still love them, though. Still love them. Okay, let's do, what time is it? And let me just check one thing with my stream and my stream health. I like to check my stream health every now and again. Y'all know that. Stream is healthy. Okay. Live, hit the button. Okay. All right. Why am I on that? Sorry, chat, getting distracted by myself. It happens. Let's go ahead and open another VHS one, and then we'll do the game one. We're gonna save the game one for like right in the middle. This is the Talking Tribble set. The Star Trek Talking Tribble VHS set. It says squeeze me, but it's not open. I can't squeeze them. Someone poked a hole in the back of it, but I can't really push it. Yeah, so this is just a double episode set with 2 Tribble episodes. The original series, the Trouble Triples, and a special Tribble packaging. And Deep Space Nine, Trials and Tribulations, and also a Tribble packaging. And includes a dead Tribble, so that you can gloat over its corpse. The one thing that's a bit disappointing on this, before I open it up, chat, and before we see if this Tribble even works, because it says it's a noisemaker. I don't know if it's battery operated and it's long since dead, or if it's just a squeak toy. There is another Tribbles episode, which sadly isn't in this. There's an episode of Star animated series. Yeah, there was an animated series. It was a Saturday morning cartoon for kids, mostly, called More Tribbles, More Troubles. It's too bad they didn't insert it into this. I don't know what the logic behind that was. It would have only been 20 minutes. They could put it on either of these 2 tapes as a bonus. In your opinion, you like new Blu-ray covers with 1980s poster art, if you've seen it before? I don't know for sure if I think I know what you're talking about. Some of these ones where they're the special 80s editions. It depends. I don't like it when they highlight stuff like saying special 80s edition, or when I'm not a big fan when they put like the fake rental stickers on it and stuff like that. It always just feels kind of So I'm mixed. I like them, but I also would rather have just a pure basic version that doesn't have any of that stuff. I like them as an additional collectible if I wanted 2 copies, but not as my main one. That Tribble needs some eugenics wards con upgrading. Yeah. All right, so I guess let me figure out how to open this. Well, it's already been torn open there, so I guess we'll just start here and we'll find out if this Tribble works, chat. No actual Tribbles were harmed in the making of this product. I don't believe it. I don't believe it, chat. I think they killed them. I think these are real dead Tribbles. Oh, there's a price tag. Apparently this was sold at a... Oh, this was bought at... Whoever got this, and I bought it from Star Trek Experience at the Hilton. That was like the 30th anniversary, I think. $27.95. Yowzers. Okay. And just a reminder, tomorrow we're going to be playing some games. Afternoon we'll be doing the NES Wednesday thing. And then later at night we'll be doing a Game Boy Star Trek 25th Anniversary. Haven't decided if I'm going to use the Game Boy Player or the Super Game Boy. I think the Super Game Boy will give me... You're giving Comic Book Guy a heart attack? I know it. I know. I know. Okay. So now I do want to be careful opening this, though. How the heck do I do this? Okay, it's got a tab there. It's got tabs there. So do I just like pull up? Or... Yeah, come on, just a little more, just a little more, just a little, there. Okay, there we go. Okay. Is that split on the side? Yeah, it's a little split, or it's falling apart from the age. Ow! Bump the mic. Sorry. Okay, let's fish out the corpse. Oh dear. Well, I have bad news, chat. I have bad news. Yeah, destroying value in real time. I have bad... It was battery operated. Because I can feel the button. Is there a zipper or some way I can access the thing in it? So I can replace the battery? Is there Velcro? Hold on. Nah. It looks like if I'm gonna revive the Tribble, I'm gonna have to... Yeah, floof. Yeah, indeed. And it's supposed to make a purring sound, Jennifer. When I squeeze it, it should do like a... But, yeah. Unfortunately, the battery must have died, 25 years ago. I wonder what a Tribble looks like when you shave it. I'm not shaving it just because it's dead. Let me see. Is there any sort of Velcro there? I'm just trying to feel. No, I would have to... Unfortunately, I'd have to cut him open and get the battery thing out and stitch it back together. And, I mean, maybe that'd be for a good stream. We'll keep that in mind for... We'll keep Tribble surgery in mind for a future content. Not that one. The Star Trek lore. Wait, what Star Trek lore? Which Star Trek lore? I wonder what a Tribble looks like if shit. Oh, not that. The Star Trek lore. Yeah. Oh, gotcha, yeah. Just gotta feel it some more. No, I don't need to keep feeling up on it. No, I mean, I can feel the stitching. But there's no way to get it open. So, unfortunately, this Tribble's dead. Oh, good, and it's got hair everywhere. Great, it sheds. It's like having... I don't have a cat at the moment. It's like having a cat. Let me see if I can get the tapes out of here, even so we can look at them. Man. Maybe. Or do they come out to the bottom? Maybe the tapes, I think the tapes I gotta come out through the bottom. It's cute though, Matt. Well, thank you. I'm glad. Yeah, it is cute. It'd be cuter if it worked. Oops. Like a careless cat. Wonder what Star Trek decided. What a shade. I wonder what Star Trek decided what a shaved Tribble would look like. I don't know. I never even thought of that until now. Here, let me try to get the tapes out. I gotta go from the bottom. Jeez. They didn't make this the easiest packaging, chat. In fact, I'm probably gonna have to put everything away later. Just because I don't... They don't want you watching these videos. Ever. Alright. Trials and Tribulations. One episode, it feels light. In fact, is it extended play? No, it isn't extended play. That's something. Okay. Not even any pictures on the back. They didn't go all out on these covers. They did. Oh. I didn't have to open the bottom, chat, if I was... A bald trip. Yeah. I didn't have to open the bottom. Apparently, I just had to move the tapes to the side and they would have popped right out. And the original Tribbles. Fun episodes, but yeah. Let me move this to the side. Yeah, I had no idea that was... I was hoping it was a squeaky toy or something. Oh, where should I put that? Okay. Actually, let me stand up. I'm going to move this one out of here because I got to put it somewhere where I can put it back together later. I will be right back, chat. I bumped the mic, obviously. Sorry about that, chat. Man, I am bumping it all over the place tonight. Let me get the plastic out of here. Okay. All right. There we are. I'm getting silly now. What if the Borg used assimilated tribbles to conquer the Federation? Oh, man. I know that there wasn't there in one of the games or something, there was like an assimilated tribble. I want to say if you look it up online, someone made like a Borg assimilated tribble. The reality is the Borg would just wipe out the tribbles. Let me make sure somewhere. Get all the hair off of there. Okay. And fix the camera a bit. Okay. All right, there we go. Okay. What's next? I don't have too many other VHS sets. Here, we'll let's go ahead and we'll do one more VHS set, and then, which I don't even know what's in it, and then we will do the game set. Let me get one of these. Hold on. Okay. Or Borg team up with the Tribbles. Oh dear. Okay, this is the Worf Return to Grace set. And the only thing that makes this interesting is comes with a figure. Star Trek Online, Tribble of Borg. Oh dear. Tribble takeover or world domination. Sir, an evil laugh here. I mean, they could in original series. The whole thing was you couldn't stop Tribbles from breeding. So anytime they eat, they have babies. So the whole thing was that they get on board the ship and they can't get them out. They're the cutest, and they have such a soothing power over people that, I mean, no one would ever want to hurt them. Tribble of Terror. Okay, so this is a bunch of VHS tapes and a figure, apparently. I don't even know what, okay, it says what episodes are in it, but I don't know what the cover art's gonna look like on any of these. Sins of the Father, Reunion, Redemption, and Redemption 2. Oh, so chat, they couldn't even be... Okay, this is a scam. This is a scam. This is a scam. Why couldn't they have put these on the same tape together? They put them on separate tapes. They took the two-part episode and they put them on separate tape. Scam. more specifically, Common Ground mission. Welcome to Earth Space Dock C store item. All right, let me. All right. Unfortunately, this one has some damage to the box too. In fact, the person I ordered it from, they sent me a replacement, and it was even more damaged, so I couldn't win. And it is a factory rewrap. I'll show you how you can tell. Well, that's how you can tell it's a factory rewrap. See that symbol there? Paramount used to, when they would have things that came back that they say they removed coupons from, they would rewrap them, and the wrapping would have that symbol, that little film canister. I don't really understand it. I just know that that's the way it was. And I don't think that's the way it is anymore. Nowadays, they just don't care. But it wasn't like rewrapping something that was defective. It was something that it was rewrapped apparently because, like I said, something was removed from it or something like that. Which I didn't realize when I was a kid. Oh man, yeah, that box is really dented in there. You can't, I don't know if you could see that on camera, but that's really just dented up with the action figure, but that's okay. Yay, action figure. Maybe we could sign it and maybe we could sell it for charity at some point. In fact, that's one thing I've thought about with some of these is maybe I can put them online just as a charity auction at some point. Okay. How do I get this off? How do I detach Worf? Huh. Oh. Okay, so that's what it is. Well, I don't know how to detach Worf. Okay, I'm gonna come back to that. Let's start by doing this. Let's start by lifting that up and getting the tapes. Okay, so they got the tapes in there like that. Sins of the Father, Reunion, Redemption, and Redemption 2, Electric Boogaloo. Let's get those out and just look at the covers. I don't think they've got really fancy art, unfortunately. This isn't easy. Maybe if I pull that off? No? Alright, let me try shake it again, chat. Ah. Holy Hannah! It's been in there too many years. Alright, Sins of the Father, I'm looking at that. That must be season 3 because of the uniforms. Star Trek The Next Generation, Sins of the Father. It's a Worf episode. What's that? Valuable coupon book inside. Save up to $50 on your future purchases. Coupons expire December 31st, 1998. So we need to get on that. Yeah, the tapes aren't resealed. The box was rewrapped, but the tapes are not. That is air date, the week of 3/19/90. See, that's the thing with Star Trek The Next Generation, they didn't have exact air dates. And the reason they didn't have exact air dates was just last week. Yeah. I'm not a boomer. I'm not old. In your opinion, do you like or dislike autographs on DVD or Blu-ray posters? I don't like them for me. I don't have a problem with them, Judd, but I probably wouldn't purchase them for me or have things. But I say that, but if I had the right thing of mine to get autographed, I would do it. Like if I could have Shatner autograph Kingdom of the Spiders. Okay, so there's that one. I don't know what season this is with Reunion. Maybe it said. Did that say? No, episode 65. And this is episode 81. This aired in 1990. It also has valuable coupons. Huh. I'm just trying to think. Yeah, oh, that's what I was going to say. With the air dates, they don't have exact air dates on these. They always say aired week of. And the reason is Star Trek The Next Generation wasn't network. It was run in syndication. So they'd be sent to the TV stations to broadcast on the week of. So you'd have some stations in some cities show it on a Friday, some on a Saturday, some the following Sunday. But yeah. Okay. Redemption, and that's from the same season. I bumped the HANDCAM. Man, I'm bumping everything tonight. 81 and episode 100. It looks like those were the 1991. Oh yeah, so this would have been the season closer for whatever season that was. I want to say this might have been season 4 or 5. I don't know. I'm not super familiar with Next Generation. I've seen all of them, but I'm not super familiar with all of it. And Redemption Part 2, where they gave Picard the snazzy jacket uniform thing, which I always liked that. I was always a fan of that. The jacket with the blue or the gray thing underneath it. And when was it aired? Also 1991. Okay, so September of 1991 versus June. Okay, so there was a 3-month hiatus between the seasons. Okay, let me put it back in here. And let me see if I could get that action figure. Let me see if I could get that figure out. Yeah, you're right what you said before, Omegs. I'm just doing this because it's I've already got the stuff on hand for it, but you were right about opening stuff being gotcha. If we had more gotcha-oriented stuff, it'd be a lot better. So that will be something to work on for the channel. Something I will have to work on. Do some card opening things or something like that at some point. Truly, chat, I don't know how to get that without tearing this thing apart. I don't know how to get this darn action figure. I can't get the action figure. What gotcha stuff would you go after? You know, the truth is, Omegs, I'd probably do a poll. I would probably brainstorm it with you guys in chat, because I know Yu-Gi-Oh's come up. I know there's always Pokemon, so many options, options, and so much good art. Yeah, I'd have to brainstorm it with chat, then we'd do a poll, and we'd probably pick the top few go-getters and do it that way. That's what I'm thinking. So if anyone wants to mention anything, I will write it down on. Let me open up a separate page of the Boomer Pad. I will write it down. If anyone has any card pack type things they think would work, just pick one you think looks best. All right. Well, regardless, I'd like to make it a little. Star Trek's got cards. Yeah, and I could have done Star Trek cards for this, but the thing was, I already had this stuff on hand, so it was like, you know, well, I picked it up thinking this would be a good idea, and darn it, I'm gonna use it. I can't get the action figure out. I'm so lame. I can't get it out. It's stuck. I'm so afraid it's gonna tear this thing apart. I need to take a knife to it. Oh my gosh. Seriously, because I'm supposed to be able to pull these two flaps off, and that releases this box. But they're glued, and they've been glued on here, I guess, you know, since 1998. And now they're fused to the box. You talk about the card game from the 90s? I'm just thinking trading cards. Was there a card game of Star Trek from the 90s? I didn't know that, Flood City. I only knew the trading cards. Like from the 25th anniversary. Well, in any case, chat, it does come with an exclusive Worf figure, not available anywhere else, and I can't get him out. He's stuck. Pro streamer. Let me take a quick hydration break, chat. If you got a drink, take a drink, hydrate or dehydrate. Okay, let's do, I might as well knock them out. Let's do one more VHS set. Actually, no. Hold on. Ow! Dropped something. That's not good. One more. I have a couple packs of the white border first print. Ooh, plus an uncut card sheet from QVC. Frozen in carbonite troll face. Yeah, pretty much. I can't get him out. I swear, yeah, where's Leia when you need her? Someone who loves you. All right. We're going to do another VHS set, and then we'll do the big game package. The game one is the one I'm really looking forward to. Okay, so this is the Star Trek premiere episodes collection. It's the pilots to Star Trek, the original series, The Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, and Voyager. Now, this is a rewrap, and it's a weird rewrap, because if you look at it, try and be careful, you can see the Paramount logo there. But if you look underneath it, you can see a logo for Star Trek 30 Years. I think that Star Trek 30 Years logo there was printed originally on the plastic on the inside, yeah, because some of it's up there too, and got stuck to the box, and then it was rewrapped maybe to get rid of coupons or something, and it's still stuck on the box. Many years ago when I was a kid, I actually had some TNG action figures, including Picard, Data, Worf, Troy, Crusher, LaForge, Riker, and Q. Nice, nice. Oh, the Playmates ones. Yeah, I'm assuming. Unless you're talking about the really, really, because I know there were some pre-Playmates ones that were really small. But nice, that's awesome. All right, we're gonna... Okay, so this is the premiere episodes. It's supposed to be the pilot episodes. And I think it's got 5 episodes on it. It was Playmates. Okay, nice. I think it's actually got 5 episodes. Not 4, because you've got the Cage shown here, and then Encounter at Farpoint, Emissary for Deep Space Nine, and Voyager Caretaker. But then if you look on this other side, it shows Where No Man's Gone Before with Star Trek, Encounter at Farpoint, Emissary, and Caretaker. First of all, one thing I'm noticing with this packaging, that artwork is a cast photo for Encounter at Farpoint. That's a still from the episode there. This is the actual cover art for the Emissary VHS tape, I think. And that is just another random screenshot from the series. I only bought one figure from Generation. It's Soren figure with a Riker labeled stand. Oh, that's interesting. Nice. The Errors. Also had a couple ship models, Enterprise D and Klingon Cruiser. Oh, cool. The Playmates ones, didn't though? Because I remember Playmates made some that like made sounds and stuff too. Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, this side looks better. But yeah, I said 5 episodes. So let me explain Star Trek. Why do you have this one here, the Cage? And then on the other side, you've got Where No Man's Gone Before. So the long and the short of it is, with the original series of Star Trek, the first pilot was called The Cage, and it starred Jeffrey Hunter as Captain Christopher Pike and featured Leonard Nimoy as Mr. Spock, and the rest of the crew was completely different. Paramount, or NBC, liked the series, but they didn't like the episode, and they didn't like any of the cast except for Jeffrey Hunter as Captain Pike. Well, Jeffrey Hunter's wife convinced him that television was beneath him, so he didn't come back. But Paramount, NBC said they did something that's almost completely unheard of. They ordered a second pilot. They said, we've spent so much money on this, and it looks really cool. It's not what we wanted. You didn't make the action show we wanted, Gene Roddenberry, but we're going to give you a second chance. So do another pilot, and then they did Where No Man's Gone Before. Roddenberry had to fight to get Spock with Nimoy again as part of the cast, because NBC didn't want the Spock character. They didn't like the Spock character. Jeffrey Hunter, like I said, he didn't come back because his wife said no. That's the way I understand it. Did anyone have one of the small Enterprise D die-cast models with saucer separation? I never did Flood City, but that sounds familiar. That sounds familiar, like from the company that did the first set of toys for Star Trek, like they had made that, because I seem to remember seeing something of that was about yay big, about say 4 or 5 inches, 6 inches. I don't know, a 6 inch. Let's just call it 6 inches. 6 inch. We're going with 6 inches. That could be taken out of context badly. But yeah, so they ordered another pilot in Where No Man's Gone Before. Now, one problem with the original series, even though this says the premiere episodes, one problem when it was broadcast is the episodes were broadcast out of order. With the original series of Star Trek, even though they had shot and intended the episodes to be in a certain order, the network, because it was network run, would come and say, no, we're going to show this one first. So the first one that ran was an episode called The Man Trap, which was like the 4th episode. And not one of the best episodes, but they thought it was more action-y. And that's one of the things that I like better about the old VHS releases of Star Trek versus the season sets you buy now. If you buy the original series on Blu-ray in the season sets, they are in the broadcast order. On VHS, Laserdisc, and with the old DVD volumes that were released, because the episodes of Star Trek were originally released not in season sets, but in 2-episode volumes. They were released in and numbered in production order. So this was labeled as episode 2. The Cage was labeled as episode 1 and episode 99. Why 1 and 99? Because there are 2 versions of it. One is cobbled together from a work print and is partial black and white. The other one was fully color restored a couple years later when the footage was located for home video, and they renumbered it episode 99, since the original series of Star Trek only has 70-something episodes. It was one of the first round of choice. Okay. I didn't, though. I nearly got the battle damaged Enterprise D and the Enterprise E from First Contact and the future Enterprise D from All Good Things. Now that one I wouldn't mind having. But yeah, Madamus, the 2 ships I had played the sounds if you press the buttons. Nice, nice. You had the sound ones. That's awesome. I remember those. That's how I first got introduced to TOS in the 80s. 1 tape at a time from the library. Good man. That's the way to do it. Let's go ahead and open this. I don't know for sure until we see this which version of the Cage is included. Now, I can tell you it's 4 tapes. So that means they must have put the Cage and Where No Man's Gone Before on the same tape for this set, which I don't think was sold that way else at another time in stores. But yeah, this is a rewrap because it's got some marking on it, which is odd, which is weird. I don't know. That's odd. I'm saying I don't know a lot. Okay, let's crack this bad mamma jamma open. Yeah, I think that 30th anniversary stuff is stuck to the tape. To the box. Let me see. Okay, let me see. No? Yeah. Yeah, you can see the logo from the 30th anniversary kind of stuck right there. So it was wrapped in one, and down there especially, so it was wrapped in one type of plastic that had that printed on the inside. Then they did a rewrap, removing that, probably because the 30th anniversary was ended. But let's crack her open. Okay. I like that box. I like this flap on the box. I honestly have not seen, or slime mess. I honestly have not seen this type of box before that Wharf one we just opened. I've never seen VHS boxes that had this flap that opens up like that. Usually VHS boxes were like box sets you still see with DVDs and Blu-rays where it's just open. The face is just open. All right, let's see if we could get these out. Especially that original series one. I'm curious about that. Okay. All right. Ah, man. This is what happens when they're stuck in there for that many times. Okay, those coupons are going to expire. Okay, yeah, the cage, where No Man's Gone before. It just said pilot episodes on the spine. It doesn't give the episode numbers. Makes sense, but it's also... it makes sense to put them on both, but it's also weird because Paramount usually just recycled what they had. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. You can't really see that on camera, but the shrink wrap has completely split on this one. It is completely split all the way up there from like heat over the years or something. I don't know if it was heat exposed or what. Let me try to get back. Yeah, you can see it there. That's odd. Huh. Yeah, okay, there you go. So it is the episode 99 version of the cage because it says special edition includes long lost color footage believed to have been destroyed from Gene Roddenberry's pilot episode of the Star Trek TV series. So that's the thing too. There are 3 different versions of the cage. And then there are, well, no, there might be more. There are actually 4 different versions I could think of the cage. And then there are 3 of Where No Man's Gone Before. I'll come back to that. But the cage, there are 3 different versions. There's the version I mentioned, which is partial black and white, which was the first home video release where they thought the color footage was lost. Then there was the color restoration, which would be this one, but the problem with it is the sound for the color sequences. Some of the voices are different, so it doesn't matter. Voyager on VHS, that's pretty late. Yeah, that is a late VHS release. I don't know if they put all the seasons out on VHS. I don't think they did Flood City. I don't even know if they put all of Deep Space Nine out on VHS. I know they got through all of Next Generation, but I don't think they did with those. So then there's the color version, but the sound, some of it, the voices shift. Then there was the DVD release of the full color version where they went back and they rematched the sound. And then there's the current HD version where they've added the new special effects and everything. The version I rented from the library had an intro from Roddenberry, black and white and color section blended in. Yes, that was the first release. I have a VHS of that one around too. I'm not going to go grab it. And the reason that the version was released at all as part black and white and part color was because they had the color footage, some of it from another source. About midway through the first season, Paramount wanted, or excuse me, NBC Paramount, whoever was funding it, they wanted a cheap episode. Now, they cobbled together recycled. Okay, I don't know what happened. How long was I out? Let me look at my thing. 1 minute. My connection completely died. Yeah, it was for about a minute according to this. Stream is healthy, no data at 11:49. Wow. I'm running a speed test real quick, chat, and then we'll go back to whatever I was saying. I'll try to back up my thoughts a minute. Okay, just a minute. Speed test. I'm on the wrong browser. All right, sorry about that, chat. I don't know. Thank you, Comcast. I guess it happens to everyone. It does happen to everyone, right? This isn't just me this keeps happening to, is it? All right, just a moment. Let me run this speed test. Ba-da-da-da. Okay, download's looking good again. Is there football on tonight? Is sports ball going on? No, download's looking really good. Upload is shaky. Upload is a bit shaky, but it's okay. It's still like 100 megabytes per second. I don't know what oh, but now it's dropping. No? All right, I'm running a second speed test once this finishes. I just want to double check this real quick. Sorry about this, chat. Very sorry about that. I think I was talking about the cheapies. So the deal with the cheapie episode, chat, is it would be recycling a bunch of footage. So like a character gets injured, let's show a bunch of flashbacks and then have him be alive at the end. With Star Trek, when they ordered a cheapie, Gene Roddenberry, oh yeah, my upload isn't the best tonight. It's okay though. It's still okay. I don't know what happened. Yeah, I don't know what happened. Yeah, looks like we're okay now. Sorry, but I have to go to bed. No worries, Floodseed. Thank you for stopping by. Thanks for showing so many interesting sets I never saw before. Have a good evening. Hey, thank you, Flood City, for stopping by. You have a great evening as well. But this can be just your provider doing maintenance at midnight. No. Yeah, it's not quite. It was 11:49 that had happened, according to YouTube. Doing maintenance. They usually, yeah, and see, usually they do it for me, Luciano, at 2 a.m. Eastern time. That's when it usually cuts out for me. So when they do their maintenance. So yeah, thank you, Flood City. Have a great night. We will see you later. Yeah, I'm going to just guess it was one of those hiccups. It was just one of those things, because it doesn't happen that often anymore. Okay, so like I was saying with the cage, the reason that we know about the cage today, and the reason there was color footage to begin with before they found the missing footage, is because when Paramount or NBC wanted a cheapie, Roddenberry said, hey, why don't I just use this footage from this lost pilot, and we'll write a story about Spock being on trial around it, and we'll make it a two-parter, only two-parter in the original series, and that way I can finally show the original pilot. Well, it went over amazingly. That episode, the two-part The Menagerie, wound up winning, I think, the Hugo Science Award, some award for television science fiction, and is regarded as one of the best episodes in the series. Now, where No Man's Gone Before, I mentioned three key versions of. There's the original pilot version, then there is the broadcast version, then there is the HD version, which added some special effects. The whole deal with the and thank you, chat. Let me just say again, thank you, chat. Thank you, Omegs and everyone, for pointing out that everything was messed up. Because I suddenly noticed you writing things in chat, Omegs, and they were appearing on one screen and not the other. So thank you for pointing that out, chat, so I could, so at least I knew it, because I didn't even, I don't even pay attention to my stream health because I expect everything to work anymore. But where No Man's Gone Before, there is an alternate version which was not broadcast, the original pilot version. The one they submitted to NBC for judgment. It has different opening and closing music. It has different narration. It doesn't have the space, the final frontier. Instead, it has something like about the universe being a big place and we've been set forth to police it, but now we're going where no man's gone before, or something like that. It had a different setup where the show was broken up into acts. So whenever there would be a commercial break and it would supposedly come back, it would come back and say Star Trek Act 3, almost like you were watching a play. And it had a few small but really insignificant dialogue extensions. And yeah, that was the way they submitted it. But then NBC decided, hey, we'd rather you stick with sort of more like the format you had with this one. Don't go with that format, but we like the episode. And they also changed the uniforms. The original, you can't really see it there, but by the next episode, they had changed the uniforms out to something more colorful, to what we pretty much know and love with the original series. They were a bit more drab, and the look of it, it had a lot of differences with the look on this pilot episode too, with the lighting, things like the view screen, little things. And that's one reason too why the decision to run the episodes out of order by the network created more confusion. because you'd be watching a couple episodes and then it'd shift to this, which is clearly the first episode and has a lot of different casts too, like Paul Fix as the doctor, Dr. Piper, I think, instead of Dr. McCoy. And Paul Fix was more of an old man, so they had more of like a grandpa type figure as the doctor instead of McCoy. So this would never have had the Trinity setup. Still a great episode. But yeah, running them out of order created issues. I thought it was rattling weird. Okay, next episode. Encounter at Farpoint. That's the pilot of The Next Generation. 2-part episode. Well, not 2-part episode, but a double-length feature-length episode, which would later have been split into 2 parts for syndication. Deep Space Nine pilot episode where they used a cast photo instead of doing like this with a still frame of the episode on it. Again, double-length episode, movie-length pilot. Nifty. What's the date on this? 1993. And the air date on this, the week of 1987. And this, well, this one, Cage wasn't aired, but the other one, Where No Man's Gone Before, was aired September 22nd, 1966. So yeah, 3 weeks after the pilot. Old Doctor, so Encounter at Farpoint then? Very much so. In fact, Paul Fix, he's one of those actors, if you've ever seen movies from like the 50s and 60s, you'd know him instantly. He was like one of John Wayne's sort of go-to character actors to play random sheriff or random farmer, or he was in just tons of stuff. But it was never, you know, a starring role. He was character actor. Which is cool. I mean, that's a nice, long, good character actor career. And Voyager, the double-length episode Caretaker. And like we were mentioning earlier, I do not believe all the Voyager episodes were ever released to VHS. They only released a handful. Because this was 1995. And DVD hit in 98 or 99. I want to say 98 because I used to have some DVDs. In fact, I still do, from Anchor Bay, which are from 99. So I would say a year before that. All right, let me put these back in the box, chat. But yeah, so that's the premiere episodes. I would love to do, again, I hate to say, hey, let's do 1,000 Star Trek watch-alongs. But in addition, I'd love to do the movies someday, the original 6. And I'd love to do a watch-along of The Cage, because I think there's something special in The Cage. That lost pilot. For me, it's not the best Star Trek episode for people who are not familiar with Star Trek, but in terms of my favorite Star Trek episode, it's my favorite, just story-wise. So our favorite Trek characters. You know, I am so darn basic Flash viewer. For me, I keep going back to the original series. I love the trinity of Kirk, Spock, and McCoy. I just love the whole dynamic that they have. Singularly, I don't know. If I was going to go singularly, I guess I was always a Scotty fan. For Next Generation, I was always a Data fan. I don't know who wasn't a Data fan. Deep Space Nine, I really liked the Cisco character because I liked a lot of the stuff not knowing what was happening with the whole emissary stuff, with all of the stuff and Cisco and the wormhole aliens where you didn't, and the build up with that. And that's why I was always disappointed with the finale. I never felt the finale nailed it. Data is one for me too. Yeah. Worf, I also like those. He's not my favorite. Yeah, no, I love Worf. And I think Michael Dorn is a fantastic actor. Data and Spot fan. Oh, Spot's my favorite. Spot, Data's pet cat. Yeah, that's my favorite. Although, I do have to say with Next Generation, a very, very, very special nod to Dwight Schultz as Lieutenant Barclay. Dwight Schultz, who also starred in the A-Team, is such an underrated comedic actor and so versatile between being able to play a crazy person as Howling Mad Murdoch with the A-Team, or being able with Star Trek playing just sort of the bumbling, insecure, I was doing this, he just fantastic talent. Sela, I liked the Sela character, and I was okay with Tasha Yar. I do think Denise Crosby did one of the dumbest things ever, where she left Star Trek. So the original, the first season chat of Star Trek: The Next Generation had a crew member named Tasha Yar, who was a blonde-headed female security officer, head of security, who supposedly had come from like one of the planets that had been settled and had a lot of crime and things like that. And I don't know what it was. I don't know if it's because she thought she'd do better in movies, or if she just couldn't handle it, or whatever, or she thought doing the syndicated stuff was... I don't know what it was, but she left Star Trek, and even though she has been hesitant to admit it, it's clear she regretted it. And so she tried to come back for guest spots whenever she could, as Sela, her supposed daughter, or as a version of herself in an alternate timeline. And supposedly, and this is where I do think Star Trek, I think the producers missed a golden opportunity with the movie Nemesis, because apparently for Star Trek Nemesis, she wanted to be in the movie. And to me, having Sela in that movie seems like that would have been a natural fit. I don't understand it, because there was another like female Romulan, because Sela was supposed to be Romulan. There was another female Romulan commander who was like playing both sides at one point during it, and eventually, I'm not going to spoil it, but there was another female Romulan commander, could have easily been the Sela character. Could have fit it in there where, yeah, Nemesis is just kind of a CF. Nemesis is a mess. Chat, I'm going to grab something special. And then we're going to do a hydration break. Let's say we open something special. Something that's not a VHS. Well, it's got a VHS in it, but let's say we open something special. Hydration break. If you got a drink, take a drink. Hydrate or dehydrate. This is the limited edition collector's set of Star Trek Judgment Rights. They did my data dirty. Yeah, and the problem was too, they were just trying to, I mean, you know this, Daylin, not to spoil it for anyone, but they were trying to copy The Wrath of Khan. They were trying to copy The Wrath of Khan, but Paramount pulled the plug on Star Trek, so it was never seen through. I think if they would have followed Nemesis up with another movie, we would have been okay. I'm not a fan of the Next Generation movies at all. Less so as I've gotten older. The older I get, the less I like them. When I was a little Madamus, things were different. Okay, this is number 193 of 75,000. It's never been opened, even though it's got some tears in the shrink wrap. It is supposed to include well, now what it shows is 2 different CD-ROMs, the game and a collector's CD, a VHS of City on the Edge of Forever, and it shows a collectible pin of City on the Edge of Forever. I know the collectible pin is not City on the Edge of Forever, because I had one of these before. And I think it even says, it says collector's pin from a series of 8. They actually put in their collector's pins that were based on the game Judgment Rights. Not a fan of the series named Picard, but here at least they did my Android right. Yeah, from what I understand, I understand the 3rd season of Picard did some Picard redeemed things. Still not watching it. I'm sorry. I'm still not watching it because there's a season 1 and 2. What was I going to say? So I know the collector's pin apparently is not that. It's going to be based on judgment rights. What I'm curious about is that VHS. So I remember from a copy that I had when I was younger that the VHS copy, and it was a later number of the packaging, the VHS copy of City on the Edge of Forever was different packaging. It was an older, or excuse me, it was newer packaging. That's the original release. I'm curious because we've got such a low lot number 193, if it's going to maybe have the old edition of the VHS tape instead of the new one. The new one is sort of like, I don't know if you remember a few minutes ago with the pilot episodes, they were in that blue looking cover. The old ones are that black looking cover, which is supposed to be like a transporter. You can't really see it, but like a transporter background versus the blue ones, which just aren't. Anything else to mention about this? Yeah, like I said, I had one. It got broken up. My family had a copy of this because at the time they bought it, you could only get it in the limited CD-ROM. I, as a little Madamus, knew that something was wrong with the game because it wasn't playing these sound effects. I said this on another stream too. So I contacted Interplay about getting it replaced. When I got it replaced, the CD they sent back to me did not match the original CD. So at that point, you know, the box just kind of, I think, got rid of the box. Still have the CD, obviously, and still have the other CD, but I think the VHS was probably donated. I don't know for sure. I like Gillian in Next Gen. Did you like her? Jillian. I'm not quite sure who you mean. Are you talking about, I'm not quite sure who you mean. Oh, are you talking about Guinan? Do you mean the bartender, Whoopi Goldberg? If you're talking about Whoopi Goldberg, I like Whoopi Goldberg better in that than some things. I like the character. I think Whoopi Goldberg in, you know, recent years, this ain't a political channel, but in recent years, she's kind of, you know, gone, you know, one step over the cuckoo's nest. But I always enjoyed her acting in The Next Generation. I thought she was great as Guinan. I think my only complaint about the Guinan character, is I wanted to know more, especially when there's an episode like Time's Arrow. I wanted to know more. Her dynamic with Q was fun. Yeah, and the thing is, but it was never explained. And then suddenly you get the movie Generations, which puts her character in it. And the way they inserted her character in Generations felt like it was conflicting with the continuity that we already had. Unless she had like gone back to her own people and now she was a refugee again. It didn't make sense to me. There are a lot of things about Next Generation that didn't, or Generations that didn't make sense to me. One other thing I'll say about Generations. I am going to say one other thing which has really dawned on me these past few, I was thinking about it a few weeks ago. Generations, you had Kirk, the Kirk segment, you had Kirk hanging out in retirement with Scotty and Chekhov. It should have been, obviously, the Trinity. It should have been Kirk, Spock, and McCoy. And if you look at the way those characters are and the way it's written, it's pretty obvious it was meant to be Kirk, Spock, and McCoy, because you've got Chekhov running down to the sickbay to play nurse, because this is then the first. I'm not spoiling anything, chat, because this is the first. I'm not spoiling anything because this is like the first 10 minutes of the movie. You got Chekhov running down there to do medical stuff. It would have been McCoy. Then you've got Scotty jumping in, trying to help them figure out a way out of the thing they're trapped in, and saying they're such and such, but I do have a theory. That would have fit more with Spock coming up with a theory than with Scotty. That whole thing, yeah, Generations is a mess. I wish Shatner never would have signed to do it. Ugh, I don't want to. I'm going to be talking about this all night. And for everything good, someone please tell me, what is with her hat? Also, I had her action figure. I forgot. Nice, nice. Her hat, well, she was a bartender. It was a drinks tray. The hat was a drinks tray. No, it wasn't. It was not a drinks tray. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, let me go ahead and, for those of you unfamiliar with Star Trek The Next Generation, let me pull up Guinan so you can see what I'm talking about with the hat. Google Images, okay. Guinan, Star Trek. She always had this flat hat. I mean, it's useful. That explanation makes more sense than her hat itself, doesn't it though? Doesn't it? Yeah. In fact, where do they show the little action figure anywhere here? Oh, well, that's a Hallmark figure. That's something else. That's a different one. Oh, those are reaction figures. Playmates. Hold on. Oh, is this going to do something bad because I'm typing Playmates? Is this going to do something really, really bad? Well, thank God it didn't. Okay. Oh, but there was a Generations version of her. Okay. Open image in new tab. Looks uncomfortable. Indeed it does. Yeah, there's the action figure. Some of her hats were actually wider. Red one I had. Yeah, this one. That had the wider hat, and then they gave her a smaller one for the Generations figure, I guess. Oh, and there was... Oh, that's interesting. Big goodbye set. Okay. Huh. Okay. I'm getting distracted. HANDCAM. All right. Let's open this bad boy up, okay? Let's open this bad boy up. Oh, and I should also point out with this, they screwed up with their screenshots. That right there, I don't know if you'll recognize it from when we played it a few weeks ago, but that is Star Trek 25th anniversary. That's when they're on the ship of on the bridge of the battle bridge of the Republic. Be right back, okay? All right, so let's crack this open. It's rated kids to adults. KA. This one's probably destroying more value, I think, than the VHS sets were. Because, you know, gamers definitely like to leave things sealed. VHS owners, I don't think there's really much call for people to leave things sealed, even though I've left some of the things I've ordered sealed, like the individual tapes. Okay, the back paper, it must just be glued on there, or is it just stuck? No, it's glued. Okay, it's glued on there. 8 enhanced episodes. Okay. Oh. A little bit of a dent in the box that I didn't notice through the plastic wrap, but it is a bit older. Ah. Holy crap. Yeah, okay. The video is the I can't get this even under the camera. Okay. So there's how the CDs are in there. You got the collector's CD, which is a bonus disc of interviews and stuff right here. And then underneath it, you've got the game disc. It's a nice little double tray thing. I like that. I don't remember a lot of this. Like I said, I was a little madamus when my family had this. Okay, we'll just let me reorient this. Okay, yeah, the VHS tape is the it is the newer copy, different artwork, and probably a different mastering job too. Originally aired April 6, 1967. Winner of science fiction's Hugo Award for best writing. This remains the most popular dramatic episode of the original series. Yeah, it is. Notice in the final scene. Okay, I'm not gonna. Yeah, that's nothing. Okay, we got a pin. Which pin did we get? I can't even read that. We got, for the last episode, we got "Yet There Is Method in It." Which is kind of unfortunate because that means we got half of a sentence. Because the episodes, I don't know if you remember from when we played this, chat, but the level right before it was called "Though This Be Madness," and then it was "Yet There's Method in It." Okay, and the manual. Original manual. Black and white pages, but still. Oh, there's your copy protection. So this was the copy protection of the game. In case you were wondering, chat, with this in 25th anniversary when we played it, when I had to look up the star chart, this was their copy protection. They put these star charts in there so that they would tell you where you had to go and you had to go to the right one. And if you didn't, you'd get into a Kobayashi Maru type scenario. You'd wind up in a space battle you probably couldn't win. I think you could win them sometimes, but still. The electronic registration envelope. I think that pin has discolored too. Yeah, it has. Just like that other pin, it has discolored. Okay, so here's an order form for all the pins. Yep, big book. It's not too big. I mean, it's might have been the way I was holding it. It's a big box, that's for sure. Special offer for the pins. How much are they? I can't read it from here. $24.95 plus $5 shipping. Plus an additional California sales tax if you live in California. Darn it. Well, I don't think we can order them, chat. It's got to be it's got to be sent by March 31st, 1996. And received by April 15th, 1996. I think we're a few years off. Like 29 years. But yeah, my pin here is discolored just like those ones in the VHS set. If you look, it looks white, the text, the background with that. It's turned yellow. That's unfortunate. What can you do? 30-year-old thingy. Okay. Okay, let's open one last thing, chat. One last, and we will call it a night with that. This was the big baller, in my opinion. I don't know if it was the most interesting one. Oh, one thing I will point out. Kimmy, welcome in, welcome in. Hope you are having a good night. I'm just opening stuff, ruining value, and yapping. You know, decreasing my own worth. What? You had worth? Yeah. One thing I will point out about this. I'm not going to pull up in real time. I'm not going to pull up screenshots of it, but users in the owners in the UK got better than we did in the US. In the UK, they released a similar set to this. But instead of having City on the Edge of Forever, you're worth a bunch of balls. Bless. I guess. I don't know. Too bad you can't go back to the future. Indeed. So the UK edition, instead of including City on the Edge of Forever, the VHS of City on the Edge of Forever, it included one of the ones I mentioned earlier when we were talking about the cage. It included the Menagerie. And the Menagerie, I mean, not only is it an episode I love, but it's the series only two-parters. So you got twice as much content. Yeah, UK customers got a better set than we did. Well, but what can you do? We got one last one to open, chat. One final Star Trek set to open. We're almost done. Kimmy showed up just in time so that she could say, oh, good. Okay, I was there. I don't have to stay around. Oh, thank goodness. I don't have to stick around for this that long. Oh, my gosh. Oh, I forgot. You know, this is perfect time for me to mention. I just remembered because of Kimmy showing up. I found these laying around. I believe they belong to Madamus. No! My opinion that behind the scenes will be very interesting. Yeah, we might watch some of it on stream sometime. I enjoy the yapping. What the heck? Oh, bless you, Kimmy. Thank you. I appreciate it. That reminds me, Kimmy, I was going to mention, I meant to mention at the start, we did a lot of tangents at the start because we talked about the Specialite thing, because Specialite Ian has a special place in my heart with VTubers, which I've mentioned before. I'm not going to go into again. We talked about some other stuff that's working that shouldn't be, like my sound being in sync again. Oh, if you didn't see the news, Kimmy, Specialite EN is disbanding, is shutting down October 6th. But from what I understand, all of their talent are being allowed to keep their IPs, or they're doing a transfer for them. So at the very least, all the members like Miyu and just the EN branch. Yeah. I know I was watching a thing earlier, though. I know Miyu Akamiya, she's talking about it tonight. Right now, I think, but yeah, JP's unaffected. You still get to watch me. Yeah, and Uta and Victoria Valerie. Victoria Valerie, I don't get to see that much. Uta, I was watching her thing talking about it today, and I know it was one of those ones that made me feel bad because it seemed like she was taking a lot of like ownership on herself, sort of, because I guess the reason they're shutting down, and I mean, you know the reason, because it's the reason they always have, it's that it wasn't profitable enough. So unfortunately, you know, I guess some of the talent like Uta, God bless her, think that, you know, if they feel like they're to blame for that. Well, you're not to blame for that. You know, this is one of those things with VTubers. I'm as green as they come, and even I know it's hard for this thing to become profitable, and at the very least, it's going to take a few years. And I don't know if Specialite JP gave the EN branch enough time, because they've only been around, Specialite EN's only been around since 2023. At least in terms of streaming. So it hasn't even been 2 years and they're pulling the plug, which is unfortunate. But yeah, they have a special place in my heart. I've said it before. They're what got me into it. It was Specialite EN that got me into VTubers to begin with. It was the Christmas ads they ran in 2023 that caught my eye, and that's how I fell down the rabbit hole. So if it weren't for Specialite EN, I would not be here probably right now. Maybe I would have been eventually, but I wouldn't be here right now. Definitely not to blame. No, it's crazy to think that as indies, they might do well because they won't have the corporate limitations. Yeah, but it's also harder as an indie. There's give and take in both things, but at least they won't have to worry about permissions on games. They're all blessed, Kimmy. I'm happy they're keeping their stuff. It's just there is a melancholiness about it, you know? It's sad but all things end. Even the big ones, even HoloLive, I think someday HoloLive will probably end. I know that's probably unbelievable to even think that, but okay, we got one last set, chat. And it's sort of a second verse, same as the first set. So the first set we did tonight was that harder for sure, but if they could pull it off, they might have a successful second round. Absolutely. But not Matt, his library can only get bigger. Oh, I don't know. I'm running out of room, Kimmy. I'm going to run out of room. Matt, mark my words, one day, HoloLive, I, Matt Sussimus, declare you will fall. I'm just saying it's the way of things. That, you know, at some point, because I never expected Prism. I never expected, and I had just gotten into following VTubers when Prism disbanded, which was the one owned by Sony. I had just started, and now that I had just started watching, and now looking back on it, it doesn't make, to me, it does not make sense. When you fall in the rabbit hole, you never get out. Just kidding. No, but that's true, Judd. I don't think, I mean, everyone's tastes change at some point, but I hope it never does. I hope I never come out of this the VTuber rabbit hole. So the first set we did, I Miss My Solar Goddess. Yeah, I think you've mentioned that before. I know some of the Prism ones are still around. Non is. She was Prism, I think. I'm pretty sure she was. So the first set we did, chat, again, just a reminder, was this. It was the Screen Voyages set that had all these movies in widescreen plus the insignia. Prism was the first corpo I was active in chat. Oh, Hololive and Stars, my favorite by Lurk. Yeah, you know what? Non is X-Prism. She is, okay. You know what? And Kimmy, that's sort of the way I am. When it comes to the bigger the chat, the more I lurk. The bigger the chat, the more I lurk. And Hololive, it just seems like, you know, I feel like there's so many people in chat that I might as well just watch because I have nothing to add. I feel that way even with FaZe Connect too. And I don't watch a lot of FaZe, but when I have, it's always, every once in a while I'll say something, but usually it was just lurk. Let me just, okay, so that was the first one. Let me, what were you saying, Luciano? Nah, in 60 years, we'll have an 80-year-old Miko will be streaming even as the solo member of Hololive. That'd be nice. I hope so. Actually, Lana has 2 current VTuber channels. Oh, well, that's good. I don't think Miko can survive out of Hololive. Gotcha. Okay, so that was the first one we did tonight. And we're going to follow it up with something very similar. Secret Subject and Paranorma. Lana is well. Is she well? Is she? Now, I've never watched Lana, so I don't know. I don't know anything about that. It's just like, I mean, yeah, we were talking about earlier, the one with Special Ita. I know that kind of was kind of lost as Miki, because I know she left under, I don't know what the circumstances were, and then she came back Isekai, but she only did 2 streams Isekai, so I don't know if that'll change. I hope it changes and she'll start streaming again, Miki Hitsugi. I remember she left because she's sick. Oh, did she? Now that's, then I'm glad she's well. I'm glad she's well if she's well, because Secret Subject. Paranorma, okay, Daylin. I know who Paranorma is. I don't know if I was sub to her at some point. I don't know if I still am, but I remember when Paranorma first appeared. Okay. Gothic, gotcha. Aiden, welcome in. We are about to open our last box set for the night. So just a reminder, the first one we did was that one with the widescreen copies. This is a non-limited or special edition. This is a separate set of the original 6 that I believe is full screen. I believe these are the 4:3 cropped versions, which means that this should be the expanded edition, the extended television cut, the special longer version of Star Trek: The Motion Picture. As far as the artwork, I think it's all the same except the little widescreen banner. Let's find out. And I'm going to be shocked if these are widescreen. I'm going to be really shocked if these were widescreen. Oh no, he's destroying all that value! Oh, thousands of dollars! It wasn't thousands of dollars. He doesn't deserve nice things. He's stripping it. Welcome in, Red Bernie. Welcome in. Why am I still doing like that? Welcome in, Red. Welcome in. Yeah, last box set of the night. Probably the least valuable. Probably might be the least valuable, and yet I saved it for the end. The Star Trek movie collection. It's just the original 6. Looks good. It's a nice set. The other one. The expensive one, Red, which I'll pull it down again. The expensive version of it was this, which looks almost identical, except it comes with this. And apparently the original price on it was $125. I did not pay $125. But these are widescreen editions. I think these are full screen. We're about to find out. And when I say widescreen, I mean, well, yeah, the artwork on these is great. And the reverse is great, too. In fact, if I can get them to all fall out at once, will they be in the right order or not? No, they won't. I'll have to flip them around. Okay. I'll flip them around as we go. Okay. Yes. These are the full screen versions. These are the non-letterboxed. Let me adjust my camera a little. I can't. Oh my gosh. Still using the same hand cam. Darn it. Come on, man. Oh, my llama, Daylin, it is her. Thank you for pointing that out to Kimmy. Thank you for pointing that out to Kimmy. I don't know, Red. In fact, you know what? I'll look up my prices on these. I'll tell you what, chat. I'll look up my prices. Well, you know what? Hell with it. Let me do it real quick. I can't pull them up on screen because I will dock myself. Rainbow. Was that her other name? Was her name Rainbow before? We're talking about someone from Prism, Red. Lana, I guess, who is a Kaid. Oh, the Rainbow. Oh, yeah. I love this artwork. I absolutely love the artwork for Star Trek the Motion Picture. This poster, the Bob Peak poster, has always been one of my favorites. In fact, I should probably Lana the blonde hair sun goddess. Yeah, she's a gothic VTuber apparently. I didn't know she was paranorma. I remember cuz this all came up, Red, because we were discussing the Specialite situation, which I'm sure you've seen about the whole Specialite thing. But yeah, that is yeah. Always a fun tangent. Paranorma and Secret Subject are Lana. I'll have to look them up. I want to say I thought I was subscribed to Paranorma. Maybe I got unsubscribed by accident. She was being hospitalized at one point. Oh, well, I'm glad she's well. I'm glad she's back and she's well. That's the most important thing. That's the best thing. Let me look up the prices I paid on these real quick. Let's go to P-Bay. Okay. You can't see this on screen, nor will you ever be able to see this on screen because I don't want to disclose everything. Purchase history. Let me go back to the gift sets. The Star Trek gift sets. Okay. So, the silver... Is that my total? Okay, hold on. View order detail. Yeah, order total. With it. Yeah, I didn't pay much at all. So that big silver set, which was letterboxed, that I paid just over $30 for. This one that we're looking through now was just over $20, so I didn't pay much for it. That 25th anniversary set that I opened a few weeks ago, I only paid over $20 for it too. I thought I paid shipping on that. Hold on. Yeah, no, this isn't right. This isn't right. Let me, I gotta double check that. Well, no, that is right. Wait a second. Hold on. View order details. No? Huh. Yeah, no, I did. Okay. Oops, I accidentally closed that. Just a sec, chat. Let me reopen these. Yeah, I didn't spend much on these sets. Thankfully, I didn't spend too much. Yeah, so that big silver set, I spent just over $30. This one we're looking at right now, I'd spent just, and the original price on that silver one was 125 bucks, apparently, according to the price tag that was with it. This set, I spent just over 20, and it was probably originally like a $60, $70 set back in the day, I would guess, based on VHS prices. Just a sec, if it will let me, come on, go back a page. Come on, go back a page. The other ones we opened tonight, the Where is it? The Tribble set was the most expensive, I think. The Tribble set was $35. And for those of you who didn't see it, I moved out of the room. We have a box set. It was 2 episodes that had Tribbles, and it came with a supposedly talking stuffed Tribble. But the batteries are dead in the stuffed Tribble, so it is just a Tribble corpse. I'll bring that out again momentarily. The premiere episode set that we went through was just over 20, and the Worf episode set with the action figure I couldn't get out of the package was just under 20. So no, I did not spend a bunch on these, not all, not total. That would have been the original price. Yeah, Kimmy, yeah, this, ow! Okay, there went my headphones. That was a mistake. Hold on, let me read all these. I'll come back to that. Yeah, I would guess it was originally 60. This one right here, though, don't break my back. Do they have 4K for Yes, they do. For the movies, not the series. This one right here, apparently, because someone left the tag, was originally $125. Grandpapamus. No! We'll finish going through those. Let me read through chat. What all did I miss? Yeah, in fact, we'll talk about the 4K editions in a moment, Red, because there's some interesting notes on those and on the set. Kind of makes me want to buy Star Trek. Yeah, I'll open up that on the gaming PC. Sub to both. She was being hospitalized at one point. Got it. Here, I'll come back to. Well, here, let me just go through this set real quick, and then I'll mention about the 4K set. Let me try to keep my thoughts in order. Okay, so this is the special longer version. The widescreen version was the theatrical cut. Special longer version was a version that aired on television. They added like 12 minutes of footage back into it. Some of it was good, some of it was out of order, and some of it was incomplete. But they put it on the VHS release, and yeah. Let me get the spines correct for when we do the spine thing. The other side of the spines. Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. I like that artwork too. That is just killer artwork. Theatrical cut, and I prefer the theatrical cut anyway. Star Trek III, the spoiler alert, Search for Spock. I love that artwork, man. I love that. And the artwork on all these, chat, I said this earlier, but as far as I know, the artwork on all these was by Bob Peak, the late Bob Peak, and man, you talk about master poster art. They connect a different way on the other side, so I'm putting them that way. Star Trek IV, The Voyage Home, looks cool. Yeah, I love the artwork on these, Jennifer. I really do. I've always... The original 6 movies specifically, once they got to the Next Generation movies, the style changed. And there are alternate posters on all these too, and some of them are pretty good. Like this one, specifically, there is an alternate poster of, which does look good also for The Voyage Home. I don't think the alternate was by Bob Peak, though. And it's the one that's on the current home videos. Star Trek V... Star Trek V, The Final Frontier, which is a movie I always defend because it's history. It's the weakest of the bunch, but it is a good movie. I don't care what people say. Star Trek VI, I love that artwork too. Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country. And one note about this is the special home video version. The letterbox widescreen one was this way also. Star Trek VI, we talked about this earlier. There are like 3 different cuts. There was the theatrical cut, then there was an international cut, and then there was a director's cut. Theatrical cut's the best. The international cut's almost the same as the director's cut. Are they MC? What do you mean by MC? I'm sorry. I'm not good. I remember that movie is the movie they got to San Francisco. Number 4, yeah. Main character. Yes. In fact, this one specifically, yeah, Kirk, Spock, and McCoy. That's something we talked about earlier, and I'm gonna, and yeah, these all connect. But the thing about them all connecting like this, at the time they originally designed the covers, there was no Star Trek 6. So then when they added Star Trek 6 in, it's just kind of off to the side. But yeah, so Star Trek, let me switch to the other computer because it's easier for me to explain it. Let me switch my mouse. Get the mouse. Okay, where is it? Okay. Cut. We're not going to do the doors. Okay. Blu-ray.com. I know I'm I'm not logged out. Okay. Let's open up let's open the art to the 4K edition because that'll be the easiest way for me to explain the dynamic. Okay. Originally motion picture. Is that the one? Yes. Looks like you're missing volume on. Yeah, it looks that way, but it isn't. The reason it looks that way is because at the time they came out, they had only, like I said, at the time they released them in these covers on VHS, they only had movies 1 through 5. And I think at that time there was debate over whether or not they were going to make a number 6 because number 5 did not do well in theaters. Number 5 got screwed over royally. Every direction it got screwed. It didn't have an adequate budget. It was rushed. The special effects company that they usually had was tied up doing Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. There was a writer's strike. It got screwed every single direction, and it would have been if Paramount would have said, okay, instead of releasing it this summer, we're going to release it at Christmas, it would have been fine. But Paramount, they wanted it for the summer. So they put it into theaters, ready or not, and it was not. There is, and for years, it's the only one that William Shatner, rushed, bad, not an effects company that wasn't up to the task, the writer's strike, and the worst part, and the ending. And this goes back to the rush and the budget. The ending called for some sort of a creature suit. I'm not going to go into it because I don't want to spoil things, but it called for some sort of a creature suit, and it called for 11 or 12 of them. Every day, according to William Shatner, he'd be given a different number. He'd be told, well, we can only get you 10 of them. Okay, fine. We can only get you 7. Okay. We can only get you 5. We can only get you 3. We can only get, and then finally we can only get you 1. And he said, fine, I will shoot it from a bunch of different angles and we will make it look like there are a ton of them. The thing that they delivered looked nothing like the drawings that had been made, and it caught fire. So the entire ending to Star Trek V had to be put together in the editing booth. They had to rewrite the thing on the fly in the editing booth just so that they could have an ending. Because Paramount wouldn't put up the money and they were rushing it, and I don't know why. I don't understand it. So yeah. And then they blame Shatner. Then poor William Shatner. Then Shatner gets the blame. And the sad thing is, I guess, so when they did some years ago, when they did a Star Trek the Motion Picture was rushed also. And just recently, first in like the year 2001, and then again in 2023, they allowed Star Trek the motion picture to be revisited with a director's cut, and a big one, like a George Lucas style, where they went and put a bunch of new special effects in. Shatner approached Paramount about doing the same thing with Star Trek V, and they laughed him out of the office. And the reason they did is because the motion picture, at least it had done well in theaters, so they figured, oh, well, it'll make money still. But Star Trek V, they just automatically assumed, well, no one will want to see this. Well, of course they'd want to see it if they fixed it. That's really bad and sad. It is sad. Yeah, rushing is always terrible for movies or video games. Yep. 100% red. So, okay, the thing about, you asked about the main characters. So, the thing about the original series compared to other Star Treks, and this is why the original series of Star Trek works better than, for movies, better than any of the others. The later series of Star Trek, I'm going to jump ahead. Try to stay with me. The later series of Star Trek were always set up where you had the captain character and you had all of the rest of the crew. And episodes would be such that every character would have their own episodes. So you would have an episode with these 2 characters, or an episode with these 3 characters, or an episode with these 2, or an episode with just 1 character. There would always focus on every character had their episodes. With the original series of Star Trek, because of the era it was produced, they didn't do it that way. It was a Trinity dynamic. It was always Kirk, Spock, McCoy. That was the Trinity. Kirk was the top. Then you had his 2 best friends and crewmates, Spock and McCoy, beneath him. McCoy representing Kirk's own humanity, Spock representing the logic, and Kirk having to put both those things together to make the best decisions. Then the rest of the crew were more like the extended family. They didn't get their own episodes devoted just to them. They'd have their own moments in episodes, but it was never about them. It was always, the focal point was the Trinity. And so with the movie, that's why the original series of Star Trek translates so well to movies. Because just like the series, you can focus on the Trinity while also giving all the other characters their big moments. But yeah, this is the set that's currently on 4K, if you buy a box set of them. The supporting characters, balls. Yeah, but the thing is, that's what makes it work well for the movies, especially. This before I like mind melds and nerve pinches. Indeed, we all grok Spock. But that's why it worked well with movies, because once they did movies based on the other franchises, like The Next Generation, what do? You can't let every single character have their movie. So every movie became just about Captain Picard, and they pretty much made it just Captain Picard and the character of Data, and tried to, shoehorn everyone else into having a big part. But everyone wanted to have as big of a part as they had in the series, but that was impossible because it was a movie. This dynamic worked perfect for movies. McCoy, because they're so funny. Yeah, that's the thing. Kirk, Spock, McCoy have a perfect dynamic together. It is the chemistry between those 3 is fantastic. And Star Trek V, the one I mentioned that got rushed in the theaters, it has probably the best chemistry moments. That movie is devoted to all of the characters, it seems, to giving them their big character moments more than anything else. I think it's good. I don't care what they say. But yeah, the box set on 4K includes all 6 original movies, and it has both the theatrical and director's cuts of the motion picture, Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, and Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country. Now, the thing about that, watch the director's cut of the motion picture, but in my opinion, the theatrical cuts are better on Star Trek 2 and 6. The pacing is stronger. And I don't like the additions to the ending on Star Trek 6 in the director's cut. The director's cut of Star Trek, the motion picture, though, compared to the theatrical cut, it's an eye-opener. In fact, I ran the trailer from it earlier. I might run the trailer again, chat. I might run the trailer again. Let's go for broke and run the trailer again for the director's cut. Should I run the trailer again for the director's cut? Or is there a trailer for just the original 6? Let's see if there's a trailer for the 6. Oh, and one thing I'll say right now. If you are going to buy this, I'm noticing right now they've got a price on Amazon of $116. I can tell you right now, that price isn't what it normally is. When I bought this box set, I paid like $70. I paid $70, and that was from Amazon. You could get them individually for less than that. Yeah, let's pull up. Let's see what we can get. I don't want to run every movie trailer because spoilers. I'll probably do trailers for the motion picture and the Wrath of Khan. Unless there's just a full set. Scalpers, no. That was Amazon's own price, so I guess it's gone up for a while, Kimmy. Maybe they're getting ready for Christmas. I don't know. That was Amazon's own price, though. That wasn't Scalpers. Do people still have the player for the tape? The tape? I don't know. I mean, you've looked, I know we've talked before about VHS players, but the director's cut of the motion picture, the real director's cut, it is only on 4K and Blu-ray. There is a director's cut on DVD. It has some issues. Let's see. Well, they all have a few issues. Okay, VCR. HS VCR. How much is a VCR? How much for a brand new VCR? $742. Let's go lowest price. Those are not. Okay, that ain't right. That's not showing me actual players. That's just showing like cleaners. All right, let's go best match. Well, there's a brand new Eddie Bauer one. Oh, but that's got a built-in okay, brand new Gold Star 225 plus 50. So about $300 there. Oof. Brand new Matsui for whatever a Matsui is for 130 plus 1685. Panasonic, yeah, they've gone up. You know, you can watch all the Star Trek movie intros. Well, I don't want to do the series. I could get flagged. I'm more likely, Judd, to get flagged with a series intro than I am with a trailer. Trailers sometimes they look at it as you're running their ad. Yeah. But the 4K editions are really good of Star Trek. I like the 4K set. All right. Star Trek 4K trailer. Let's see if they've got a trailer for just the for the box set. No, that's the director's edition. Collection trailer. I don't think there is. No, that's a comparison. All right, we're just going to run the trailer again for, we're going to do the motion picture trailer. What is the Star Trek trilogy, the Kelvin timeline? My opinion, it's hell, Red. That's the reboot done by J.J. Abrams. The Kelvin timeline trilogy is, that is the reboot from J.J. Abrams with Chris Pine. It's not my cup of tea. It's where they tried to make Star Trek into Star Wars. With the movies, you got three sets. You've got the original series set, which is movies 1 through 6, my bread and butter. There's the Next Generation set, which is Star Trek Generations, First Contact, Insurrection, and Nemesis, the 4 movies they did for the Next Generation, which I liked more when I was younger. I don't hate, well, I do hate Star Trek Generations, but don't get me started on that again. And then the Kelvin timeline now is what they call the reboots. That's the 2009 thing. Definitely not my thing. Here, we'll do the trailers for the motion picture director's cut and for just the Wrath of Khan, even though it's an older trailer, so doesn't quite play as well as modern. Let me turn the music off. BGM. This trailer doesn't show a lot except effects on parade, but I still love it. I was so psyched when this finally came out on 4K and Blu-ray. You have no idea. No idea.
Thrusters ahead, Mr. Sulu.
Take us out.
Mr. Spock, every minute brings that object closer to Earth.
Seriously, I'm getting goosebumps.
I am convinced we are inside
Still looks good.
a living machine.
Does. There are a few new effects, but most of them are original, Red. Yeah, they did a lot of remastering.
Station, sir?
Insatiable curiosity.
Spock, you haven't changed a bit. You're just as warm and sociable as ever. hope we got this one off to a good start.
I hope so too.
Oh, giving me chills. I know that's so nerdy. That is so nerdy for me to say that. Why didn't, okay, answering, did the color look that good? The color timing was a little different. I'll pull up the old trailer too. I think the color had a little more of a brown tone, but it looked pretty, no, I didn't, Red. Why didn't they do a Voyager Deep Space Nine movie? It was a money game. It was all about money and numbers. Judd, at that point, Star Trek's popularity was falling. The Next Generation movies were not doing that well in theater. Oh no! The Next Generation movies weren't doing that well in theaters. So it just wasn't something, yeah, they just didn't have the money for it. Paramount wasn't interested. They weren't even interested in continuing the Next Generation movies after Nemesis. He felt the Trek inside him. Oh, gosh. Let me see if I can pull up the original trailer for that, too. Star Trek, because there are a couple different ones. It's not as good of a trailer. Now, one thing to bear in... Oh, God, that's a good point. Hydration break. If you got a drink, take a drink. Hydrator, dehydrator, something. One thing to bear in mind when I show this trailer, they rushed this trailer into theaters before the effects were even done. That's another thing. Star Trek the Motion Picture, and this is why they did a director's cut on it, it was rushed also. They wanted it for they were competing with Star Wars. Star Wars had already been out a couple years earlier, but they wanted it out Christmas of '79 because The Empire Strikes Back was coming out summer of 1980. So they were trying to beat Star Wars to the punch. So they didn't have time to finish some of the special effects, but the ones that are finished look gorgeous. And they didn't have time to go back through the edit and make changes. So the director was never happy. He basically had to put his first cut into theaters. In fact, it's been sort of a running joke that the film prints were still wet when they were delivered to the Man Chinese Theater for the premiere, which may be true. Trek the Motion Picture trailer. So the trailer there isn't going to show, the old trailer for it is not going to show as much. Is that the right one? Yeah. Okay. Trailer one. Oh no. Mute that. Don't know what this is, but I'm not buying your phone. It won't let me skip it. It won't even let me skip it. Oh, they're doing another season. Oh, God. Oh, good. Hymns. Oh, good. That's just what I wanted on stream. An ad for hymns. Oh, that's just what I've always wanted. No. No. My hair is like what you're seeing here on the model. Okay. I don't have much creativity. I just made myself a VTuber. They know what you want and need. No. Okay. Stop now. It lets me skip. I swear. Waiting for the femboy commercials. Oh, man. Jeez. I hate unskippable ads. Me too, especially now, Jennifer. Oh, by the way, the director of the motion picture is the guy who did The Sound of Music. Let me wax that. Man, make it shiny. No!
Travel forward with us, 300 years into the future, to confront the greatest mystery ever to threaten mankind. We are aboard a huge starship called the Enterprise. This is the return of Captain Kirk.
An alien object of unbelievable destructive power is less than 3 days away from this planet.
Mr. Spock.
I offer my services as science officer.
Dr. McCoy.
300 years,
Scott.
indeed. Yeah, 23rd century.
Commander Will Decker and Navigator Ilea.
I'm sorry.
That you left Delta 4? Or that you didn't even say goodbye?
Get us back in impulse power. Full reverse.
Wormhole distortion has overloaded the main power systems.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of this trailer. Trailer to the next one, Wrath of Khan, is a good trailer.
Torpedoes.
This, then, is the epic journey of the Starship Enterprise, traveling to the outer limits of time and
Made a lot of
space
money.
to challenge a vast, living machine of destruction. The human adventure is just beginning.
At least they got the poster on there. I love that artwork. I love that artwork.
Star Trek, the motion picture.
Traveling to the wrong series.
A Gene Roddenberry production. A Robert Wise film.
Yeah, the director of the motion picture. The director of the motion picture is the guy who did The Sound of Music and West Side Story, amongst other things. But they had a big name on this with Robert Wise. Is it just me, or is that the Jaws theme? It might have been, Judd. They were just using library tracks. They didn't have any of the music completed at this point. So yeah, that was just library track music. None of the music from the soundtrack, because the soundtrack to this thing's incredible. I mean, leave aside the Star Trek theme itself. Soundtrack's incredible. All right, the Wrath of Khan trailer. And that's the only other trailer I'm going to show, because the rest, spoilers. I really enjoy the oldies voices. It's pleasant, like mid-Atlantic accent. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, well, that's one thing. I do like the old trailer voices. I do like old trailer voices, that's for sure. I don't want to do a modern trailer. Does Paramount have an official trailer up? Ah, there. No, that's the director's cut trailer, isn't it? Hold on. Okay, I can do that. It's the regular trailer. They just are shown as the director's cut. Theatrical cut's better on the Wrath of Khan. I know I already said that. I'm saying it again. This is the one, though, that really saved Star Trek, this movie. The Wrath of Khan saved Star Trek from kind of disappearing.
Beyond the darkness, beyond the human evolution, is Khan, a genetically superior tyrant. Exiled to a barren planet, banished by a starship commander he is destined to destroy. Left for dead, he has survived.
I'll chase him round the moons of Nibia and round the Antares maelstrom and round perdition's flames before I give him up. There she is. There she is. Ah!
Shield's collapsing, Captain.
Can you evade their power? A few shots, sir.
Not enough against their shields.
The base is starboard.
Scotty, I need warp speed in 3 minutes or we're all dead. I've done far worse than kill you. I've hurt you. And I wish to go on hurting you. I shall leave you as you left me.
Indeed, peak cinema.
Eternity, buried alive. Buried alive.
Oh.
At the end of the universe lies
How big
the
is that
beginning
ship?
of vengeance. Star Trek II.
I'll look that up.
The Wrath of Khan.
I want to say the original Enterprise. I want to say the classic Enterprise it's big enough for like 200 something crew, 300 something crew. And then that other ship would have been about probably pretty close to the same size. Let's look it up. Let me open a new tab. Buried Alive. Yeah. That's one of the things, because that the actor playing Khan was Ricardo Montalban, and man, you talk about someone who could play a killer villain. Oh, look, the antagonist from Freakazoid. I mean, Khan. You talk about someone who could play just, oh. And they replaced him. Who? Gosh, I'm trying to think. And Khan, they had a Khan in the Kelvin movies, the reboot movies, and it was played by Benedict Cumberbatch. I like Benedict Cumberbatch. Benedict Cumberbatch was no Khan and no Ricardo Montalban. Ricardo Montalban was, oh. Okay. How big is the Enterprise? How big is the Enterprise TOS original series? Has anyone figured out the sizes? Okay, here we go. The Enterprise from the original series, which would be the movies, is approximately 288.6 meters long, 947 feet. Master Rock from Fantasy Island. Yeah, he was in Fantasy Island. He played Mr. Rourke, yeah. Armando Gutierrez, voiced by Ricardo Montalban, had an episode named The Wrath of Gutierrez. Really? Okay. Interesting. Yeah, there you go. So the Enterprise, 203 feet high, 448 long, 12 decks, 100 to 150 crew members. 10 blue whales. Blue whale ball. You know, it's funny you mention whales, Red, because that actually plays into one of the movies. I'm not gonna do spoilers though. Yeah, and one of the movies that's considered peak, one of the ones that's considered one of the better ones. Yeah, but yeah. So the original series is out on 4K and Blu-ray. As far as the individual releases, let me see how much they are individually. In the good, now there are old. Okay, let me warn everyone. There are some Blu-rays, the old Blu-ray set, which you can get really, really cheap. The old cheap Blu-ray set is crap. And I mean crap, to the point where I preferred to watch my DVDs. They were just awful. They looked awful. They awful. I remember that movie. He also once almost completed his famous quote to Kirk while talking with Freakazoid. Really? Nice. So yeah, the motion picture, it doesn't include a Blu-ray copy, but on its own, it's $18.72. How much are the others? Let me just see. If you were to buy Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan on its own outside the box set, $19.59. So about $20 a movie you're looking at. With good cover art, though, at least. At least you get the cool posters. Darn, that's a good-looking poster. 4, though, has a different I'm going to pull that up just real quick. Star Trek 4, the Blu-ray, does have a different poster than the one you saw on that VHS of mine. The VHS we showed of Star Trek 4, yeah, different artwork than that one. Even though that's great artwork, too. I like showing the whole crew like that. And the posters, they always focused more on Kirk and Spock. Even though I said it was a trinity, the focus of the original series, though, mostly is Kirk and Spock. But McCoy is really pulling up the rear on that. So making it into a trinity dynamic. I'm probably babbling too much, aren't I, chat? What time is it anyway? Wow, it's after 1 o'clock. It's after 1 o'clock. Let me just finish putting this stuff back in the box real quick, and then we'll head back into the library. Put it all back in the box. And I'll put them back in the reverse way so that it doesn't look like it's got that big extra space on the side. Because if you put them in the reverse way, luckily these covers, you get a different piece of art. Which you saw when I first was pulling them out of the box. If it'll go back into the box. Okay, that's a problem. Oh, come on. Really? Oh, please. Oh, come on. Don't make me look stupid. There we go. There. Even though you can see part of the Enterprise saucer there, because even then it was like they were running out of room with the wraparound. Okay, let me move this to the side. And yeah, just, I noted earlier, I'm still using the same hand cam. The one I had ordered, I'm returning to Best Buy, because, yeah, the Elgato cam I was going to start using to give me a wider angle. I'm not the biggest fan of Elgato. Let's head back in the library and wrap things up, chat. Welcome back, Aiden. Welcome back. We are just wrapping things up. So, that was... I was about to list a game that we didn't play. Oh my gosh, my brain is gone. I was about to list a game that we didn't even play. We didn't play a game, chat. We didn't play a game. What's wrong with me? Okay, so that was our unboxing thing. We opened up a number of Star Trek VHS sets. We opened one limited edition PC set. Destroying value in real time. I've still got my VCR. Maybe I'll watch some of these sometimes. I don't know why I did this. That was fun. Thank you, Judd. Thank you, Judd. Oh, one thing. Hey, good night. Thank you for stopping by, Judd. Have a great rest. Before we do a raid, I did want to mention Fortnite. Fortnite. I did. Thanks for sharing. Trying to find some... Well, it is Star Trek's anniversary this week, so I was trying to figure out something to... I don't know. The truth is, I need to do unboxings, and I talked about this with Omegs, that are... I'm glad everyone enjoyed it, but I do need to do unboxing or unwrappings that are more... Party over a mat. I do need to do some that are more gacha oriented. So at some point I might do like card packs, be they Pokemon, be they Yu-Gi-Oh, be they some of the other ones that we've mentioned before. I might do a poll for that and also pick out some stuff of my own that I'm interested in the artwork, and we'll try to do some card opening packs at some point. I think that'll be a bit more fun with the gacha aspect, maybe. I don't know, because this you kind of know what you're getting in them. Oh, it's a movie box. I bet it has movies in it. But Fortnite. I did want to mention Fortnite. So I installed Fortnite. It does run. And it's running in really high settings, too. The only thing... Pokemon Scout. That's true, Kimmy. That's true. You're right. Pokemon's sort of out of bounds, because I've watched too many... I've seen too many streamers complaining about that, and too many people online, including poor Rhea. Yeah, I know she was hunting for the Pokemon packs at one point. Fortnite. I did want to let y'all know, I've got it installed. It does run. I've still got to figure out, how the hell you do this stuff as far as setting up waiting rooms and everything, because I'm a total noob when it comes to multiplayer stuff. It's running amazingly. I keep it 60 FPS because my capture card is limited to 60 FPS on my streaming PC. But with 60 FPS in HD, I'm able to set it at epic settings on everything. The only thing I don't have turned on is the ray tracing, because my card doesn't support really much ray tracing. It's easy good. Yeah, I figured it would be. The only thing I ran into a hiccup with was the Epic's store launcher itself. Anytime I tried to add something even free to my cart, it would just, Fortnite gang! Omegs has been summoned. Omegs and Bernie can carry... I figured you'd be carrying, Kimmy. I keep hearing you're gonna be carrying. Easy peasy wins and destroy children. Well, you had me at destroy children. I'm a freeloader. Not as much as I'll probably be, Kimmy. Omega should have Kimmy or me in the friend list. Okay, that'll work. And we are not going to do that this week. That'll be next weekend. We'll work that out. And we'll do a stream of Fortnite and see how it goes. And yeah, the only thing I ran into trouble with was the Epic launcher. Compared to the Steam launcher, the Epic Games launcher does not like me. But the game itself seemed to like me. It seemed to run just fine. What else do I need to mention? Oh, just a reminder on the schedule for the remainder of the week. Tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. We're doing our afternoon Wednesday stream. We will be playing Star Trek 20, still doing the Star Trek theme for a few days, Star Trek 25th Anniversary on NES. Then at 10 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, Star Trek 25th Anniversary on Game Boy, completely different game. And then Thursday, 10 p.m., we will finish up, I hope, Escape from Monkey Island 4. And on Floppy Disk Friday, we're going to play the original version of King's Quest. Last time, we played the EGA remake. This time, we're going to play the original. I'm going to see if I can complete it more quickly. Oh my gosh. Let me turn this off. There we go. Boom, boom, boom. Let's see who we can raid into. Let us see who is awake and who we can raid into, chat. Oh, good. The stream is healthy again. After what happened earlier, it makes me feel better. Redirect. Chima Mary. Nori is on. Oh, and I do need to do Uma Musume too. We're gonna do horse games soon. Ori, Eliza, Mamie Majoko. I'm always, I'd love to raid into Mamie Majoko, but I'm always afraid to for some reason. Someday I will. Miu is on. I don't want to raid into, well, you know what? Because of the news that Miu got from, the Specialite thing, chat, thank you for the streaming. Hey, thank you everyone for showing up. Because of the news that Miu got with Specialite, we're going to raid into Miu. We're going to raid into Miu Akamiya. We're going to type something. Let me think this through. Thank you. This through. The back library loves Miu. Yeah. Yeah. Special. Okay. Little show of support. I'd like to do that. Just a moment. Back library. The GAT library loves you. No. The back library loves Miu and Specialite EN. We'll just do it like that. Something similar is simple. I'm glad they're all getting to keep their IPs. Or supposedly, or at least they're in a position where they're being allowed to keep their IPs, even if they're having to pay something on them. I don't know any of the details, but I'm glad that that's happening. So again, tomorrow, see you all in the afternoon. Oh, and by the way, the afternoon stream, I likely will not be playing with original hardware if the audio sync keeps up. I'm going to be using that retro USB AVS, so we will have a cleaner picture on NES. Clean picture, yay, HD quality pixels. Yeah, so thank you everyone for showing up tonight. Thank you, Aiden. Thank you, Red. Thank you, Omegs. Thank you, Kimmy. Thank you, Flash Viewer. Thank you, Daylin. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you. I know there's more. Judd. Thank you. I know there were other people. Thank you, Luciano. Everyone else who, what am I missing? Back library lesbian, especially perfect timing for the raid. I just beat a boss. Nice. Specialite raid. Yeah, that'll work. That too. That perfect. So we're gonna do a raid. Thank you everyone for stopping by tonight. If you've been lurking, thank you for lurking. If you've been VOD watching, thank you for watching the VOD. Please consider a comment on the VOD. Tell me how you do it, because I don't understand. My small, smooth brain does not understand how you do it, but you do it watching the VOD, so tell me. It helps with the algorithm. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.